TikTok, get it together. Goodness. Okay. On. Done. Okay. Here. Oh, pop this chat out would be a good idea. There. Morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, everything. Yep. Okay. I'm out of it today. I'm not even gonna lie. Trying to keep it together. Okay. Guess you guys get it today then. Good morning, Faye. Good morning, Yami. You were the first, Eli. Okay. Yeah, I said I was gonna. I can't say I'm here. I'm so tired. That's more like it. There you go, Lenati. Morning, surgeon. Hello, runny eggs. I fixed it so that when you send it, the sound plays. I don't have to press the button anymore. It'll just do it. Thank you, Peter. Made it nice and fancy. Just that one. I don't have any other gifts set to any sounds, but we have ideas now. I'll behave since Mia's over. All right. Good morning. No, don't do that. As the director of I Don't Care. Good morning. Hi, everybody. No matter what woke time zone you're it. Oh, you want me? That's a wild song to start the morning with. But yeah, no, I totally can. What I can do, I can run a poll on Selena songs. That's gonna be woo. We're gonna set a war off in my Discord, R Baron. I don't think you know what you started. But yeah, we can totally do that. Good morning, no matter what woke time zone you're in. I appreciate you guys being here today. If you're watching on TikTok, let's start tapping that screen, please. I would appreciate it. We want to fill that bar up. Oh, my bad. It's not bad. I want to watch I want to watch the chaos. Juicy Juice, thank you for finding our newest sticker. Appreciate that. So let's keep tapping the screen. Let's try to get to 300,000 likes before the end of my stream, which is a 3-hour long stream. I'm on for 3 hours. That didn't sound right. I told you I'm out of it today. Let's tap. Use your fingers and tap the screen. I know that we can get to 300,000. We did so yesterday, so let's close. I counted it. I rounded up for you, but I had a restart, so you were behind a little bit because of my own fault. So let's keep tapping. Make sure we get to that mark. I would appreciate it so very much. Thank you. Repost now before I start showing clips, start showing articles, because TikTok does not like to let you repost after that fact. So let's repost, add it to your story, share it to like 5 of your friends. Let's make sure that we are boosting in those shares. Don't spam the copy link, please. But if you want to share it somewhere, you can use the copy link button, but it is a lot better if you repost, add to story, and share it to 5 of your friends. Do your daily heart me if you have not done so. That should be that little heart that's next to my name up there. Obviously, you're following me already. If not, I would appreciate it if you hit that follow button and then send your daily heart me. As you can see, as Juicy Juice and others are now using, we have a new sticker in the chat that you can use. Doing your daily heart me gives you access to those stickers in the chat over here on TikTok. We have the little roses goal that I start out with every single day. Let's start getting those accomplished. And don't forget about my gift gallery. If you click my profile picture and hit the little, what is it, orange, yellow, that says C4 gift gallery, we have 3 gifts left to for the weekend. It's only Wednesday with the whale diving, the meteor shower, and the flying jets. I know that those are the most expensive ones that are left, but if you happen to have a chunk of TikTok change left over that you would like to use for me, I would appreciate it. Just help us boost us into the rankings and push us out onto the algorithm over here on TikTok. Thank you guys. I would appreciate it. If you're watching over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. It just, again, helps push us out onto the algorithm over there on YouTube Shorts. I would appreciate it so very much. You can also subscribe. You can become a member. You can send jewels and you can send super chats in case the chat starts going by too fast and you have something you would really like me to read. Sending a super chat ensures that that gets read. Okay. Also contributes to me. Or if you want to send me a hate message, I will also read that out as well. Thank you so much. Good morning over there to those of you over on Twitch. I see you, Yami, Surgeon, Dark Eagle. Good morning. Make sure that if you are sitting here and you're watching and you're not following me, I would appreciate it if you do follow me. You can also subscribe over there. Gives you access to emotes in the chat that are similar to the ones I have on TikTok. I don't get as many, which isn't as fun over there on Twitch, but we're working on it. The more that I get boosted, the more I can have more stickers or more emotes. So let's do that. If you subscribe, by the way, if you pay for Prime, Jeff Bezos gives you 1 free Prime sub a month. Why not use it for me? And you can also send bits over there. Guys, I have 150 left of my goal. It's what we have every single day. Yes, Kobe, I do. 150 left of my goal. We crowdfund here and pay for women's labor. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio. If you're on YouTube and Twitch, YouTube, you can see it right here. Twitch, it's down on that side for you to be able to see. So let's start working on that because we pay for women's labor. I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I already said a couple times, but just so everybody's clear. I have an outline. I have news set and ready to go, but I might be off of it. My daughter has an appointment. It's fine. Everything's fine. Let's be clear. Everything's fine. Normal appointment. I'm pretty sure they're just going to do like the molding for her braces, and her retainer or expander. But I have anxiety, so my entire day is going to be focused on the fact that my daughter has an appointment later, so it throws me off my game. But I'm here. I'm doing the thing. So I appreciate it if we just support that. That would be amazing. Already had. Why? All right. Turn that phone line on. By the way, guys, I have a number. If you are a Trump supporter and you would like to talk and have a conversation based off of factually based evidence and not your feelings, we can do so. I will ask you to source your claims. I would like to see them. I would like to talk through them. Maybe you have information I've never seen before. That is what I am here for, is to learn. But don't tell me it's common sense. Don't say you don't think. Don't fucking say supply and demand. I can't fucking stand that shit either. And we can have a conversation, which apparently we're going to get started. So guys, let's do all the good things as we get started with our day. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for? Okay. Why are you still supporting Trump? Did he? That's great. Yeah, the troll has all the talking points. We love that. What is Iran? What's happening in Iran? You don't even believe that yourself as you laugh. How not? I didn't ask about Israel. I asked about Iran. Randy, is that you again? Randy? I think you and I need to have a conversation about the fact that you left me a voicemail asking for my consent, and I multiple times yesterday told you that I have withdrawn my consent to speak with you. I wish to no longer speak to you. You are now bordering on stalking and harassing. Thank you for giving me all the evidence I need as it's recorded on my show. So that I can file. What time is it in Colorado right now? My God. Who are the gubernatorial candidates for Colorado this year? Why? Why do you support Victor Marx? Yeah, well, that wasn't actually happening, was it? Do you think he? Do you? Yeah, do you? The guy who said he killed somebody? Do you think that he was able to, as a civilian, call in spider drones when they lied? When they lied? When men lied? Did he call in? Did he call in spider drones as a civilian? That's what he said. He called in spiders as a civilian. Do you think he did that? As a civilian? Yeah, you're not a good troll. Just want you to know. A guy who keeps calling me, he's made 4 or 5 different phone numbers on Google Voice to call me, even disguising himself as a woman's voice to call me. Yeah, I'm in Colorado. I'm fine. We don't need them. That's fine. No. I didn't say we don't need any guns. I said we don't need semi-autos. To listen to the actual words that I said. Guess what? I am totally fine with arming the proletariat. So you've got the wrong one. I know that you want to do these talking points that seem to work well for you in your Reddit fucking spaces. They don't work with me. No, absolutely the fuck not. Those two things have nothing to do with each other. Arming the proletariat and Thin Blue Line don't have anything to do with each other. Who said that? No, cops don't need it either, really, to be honest. Oh, okay. That's your stance. Good for you, I guess. It's not. I never said that. Those words never came out of my mouth. You're desperately trying to argue with some cardboard cutout of a person that is not me. That's what I thought. Reset this. Did that go the way you thought? Nope. All right. Can we get started with my show now? Can I talk my shit again? Let's go. Let's do. What do we want to start with? Let's start with elections while we're here. We'll start with elections. Thank you so much, Raina. See? Isn't that so much easier now that the sound just comes up when you guys do it? It makes my life so much easier. Okay. Let's get into some election stuff. Now you're all just gonna send them just to see it happen. We will get into results, but first I want to get into some just some random news that we got in way of I counted under the election section, and then we'll talk about it. Thank you, Hector. Can I get W's to Hector, please? For the $10 therapy dues for incel white men. Yeah, I don't know why I don't get paid enough for their therapy. I don't have the proper licenses for their therapy. I don't know. I hate all of you right now. I just want you to. This is terrible for me. Oh gosh. Hi, guest. How are you today? I don't know. You would have to ask Hector. He was the one who sent that out. And are you black? Are you black? Okay. Neither am I. Don't know if you knew. I'm also not, so I'm not going to talk about race with you. Can I get your age and the state you voted in, please? Cool. Did you vote for Trump? Right. Why are you still supporting him? With what? Oh, did we? What was so disastrous that he reversed? Can we talk about something? How so? Yeah, how was Biden doing that? And they're all back home, sweetheart. How was Biden doing that? With what policy was Biden ruining Western civilization? Oh, that's not true. Prove it. Where's your proof for that 9 million? Where? On what page? Because Where? Where? Yeah, I know. Where? You keep saying. Nope. No, I know, sweetheart. You're used to just rambling your talking points. You're actually going to show me where Border Patrol said 9 million, because I've been on the Border Patrol websites and it doesn't say that. So where's the 9 million coming from? Cool. Yeah, show me that there was 9 million. Show me that there was 9 million. Show me that there was 9 million because of Biden's policy. Show me 9 million at all. Sure, if there was lack of enforcement. Hello, you said, I hate having to mute you because you don't want to cite this. This is embarrassing for you. You said 9 million. You said 9 million. Show me where 9 million came from. You said Border Patrol said 9 million. Cite that for me so I can bring it up on the screen. I would love to see 9 million came in. $9 million. Thank you, Sparky.
So those first 2 years, it was around, they say, 4.1 million.
I'm sorry, repeat that for me again.
So about 4.1 million total migrant encounters at the southwest land border.
Encounters?
Yeah.
Oh, what are encounters?
Who's reporting?
What are encounters?
It means you've encountered an illegal crossing the border.
Oh, so are they let in?
Under Biden, yeah, they were let in. They weren't. They weren't picked up. It's the same thing with the warrants. We can bring up the warrants that were supposed to be executed under Biden's administration to deport them, and they didn't execute those warrants either.
What's your proof that they were let in after being encountered?
Because we can go over the warrants that Biden wouldn't administer to allow them to be deported in the first place. You want to go over the warrants?
Biden does not administer
his administration.
Warrants.
His administration.
Show me that there was a lack of enforcement on warrants or an issuance. I love when we Google on the fly. Guys, remember that also encounters encompasses 3 things. It's going to be apprehensions, inadmissibles, and expulsions. So these were people who were not let in.
They were let in.
You're on the way to prove that. You go ahead and Google it since you've believed it this whole time without ever looking it up. Oh my God, I have crabs. Thank you, Sparky.
So yeah, they ignored final orders of removal. They only focused the Biden administration.
Where are you getting that information from?
On public safety threats, national security threats. They shifted.
Where are you getting that information from?
We got NPR. We got New York Times.
What's the title of the NPR article?
Hold on, let me pull up a government one. This would be a lot more accurate.
Not if it's whitehouse.gov or congress.gov hearings. It wouldn't be. That would just be also claims, but I'd like to see what NPR is citing, unless you're getting what NPR is citing. Guys, make sure we're doing all of the good things as we're sitting here, please.
It's on the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement annual reports and congressional data disclosures and federal court filings. It's all on there.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement. What was it? U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. What?
Customs annual reports and congressional data disclosures and federal court filings. And it also found that Trump removed more than Biden with ICE. We can do Biden's first 2 years, so 2021, 2022.
Okay. Let's see. And you're pulling this from, let's see, we have an immigration annual report from July of 2021.
It's also on the House Judiciary Committee as well.
What did I just fucking say? If you're reading it from the House Judiciary, what's the House Judiciary say?
It says that they revealed that hundreds of thousands of migrants who were released into the interior to await immigration courts.
No, I don't care what you're reading. I want to put it up on the screen so we can all read it so that you're not being bad faith and disingenuous, because you already have been. It took me 5 minutes to get you to actually go from 9 million to 4 million, and also that it was encounter. So House Judiciary Committee, what's the title that you're reading from? Or are you just using AI, which is where the problem lies probably anyway?
Not at all. One sec.
Cool.
All right, the Biden border crisis, new data and testimony show how the Biden administration opened the southwest border and abandoned the interior enforcement. Posted October 9th, 2023 by the U.S. House of Representatives.
October 9th?
Committee of Judiciary. Yep.
Okay.
2023.
What did I just fucking say?
Well, again, this is going off a press conference, but if you want to go off the other sources...
It's not a press conference. It's not a press conference. It's Congress. Congress can come in and say a lot of things. Are they citing actual data? Of course, the Republicans who did not agree with Joe Biden, what are they citing?
I told you.
No?
I told you previously to that.
And I can't find the immigration annual report that I found for January 2021 when I looked it up. See, look. Fiscal years 2021 and 2022 detailing shift. This is AI overview, which I don't like to use. So I was like, okay, July 14th, 2021. When I bring it up, I get this, which goes into what?
So this is where they screwed up. So rather than form,
so what are you?
Rather than use Form I-200 or I-205 for
where are you reading that from? Where are you reading that from? Where are you reading that from?
DHS website.
What's the DHS title? Jesus Christ, you keep moving websites and we can't even focus on one to get to your source yet.
Well, again, you wanted to focus on the judicial thing, so I just brought that.
I didn't want to.
That's why I brought that up.
No, you brought
but
up
if you want to go off the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency,
you brought up the annual report, which I can't find. Then you brought up the House Judiciary, which I found, but we haven't even gotten to read through it because what you said you're citing from it, I'm trying to find what they're citing from it. Because guess what? Republicans are going to talk shit about Democrats. Democrats are going to talk shit about Republicans in Congress. Okay, so that's not a shocker. So now we're moving to DHS.
Okay, no, let's just make it easy, okay? So the Cato Institute said approximately 51% of the border crossers encountered during the beginning of the administration were removed. So you're right about 51%. However, 49% were still released into the interior to await their immigration court hearings. That's why I said that legal. Biden wasn't enforcing.
Oh, that's legal. Oh, that's legal. Legal. God, you guys are dumb.
So a foreign invader breaks into the country and you're going to give them a court hearing. Instead of just removing them. So why they removed 51%? They kept 49%.
They legally came then if they had
court hearings? They didn't legally come in. They didn't legally come in.
Based on what?
What would be their legal reason for coming in the country?
How do you claim
without
asylum?
Using a port of entry?
How do you claim asylum in this country?
Yeah, you can't use asylum as an excuse because we know that 90% of asylum. We know 90% of asylum seekers are denied. And why are they denied? Because they don't come here for the correct reason.
It's like 70. Well, it's not 90.
70, like that's any better.
Cool. Sure, but that's I agree with you. I agree with you. A majority of them are found that their asylum claims are not legitimate, and then they are set up to fight. No, it's not an excuse. It's the law. I have it up on the screen for you.
It is a fucking excuse.
It's not an excuse. It's the law. You might not like the system. It's fine. You don't have to like. It's not exploitation. It's not exploitation.
You're defending them exploiting the law.
That is the law. If you don't like the law, have your congressional representatives change the law. But until
you can't break into the country, get caught, and then claim I'm here for asylum.
Any alien who is physically present in the United States or who arrives in the United States, whether or not at a designated port of arrival, and including an alien who was brought to the United States after having been interdicted in international or United States waters, irrespective of such alien status, may apply for asylum in accordance with this section or where applicable. That is the law. You don't have to like the law. Nobody's asking you to like it, but we're asking you to follow it until it gets changed.
You're defending people who are lying and exploiting the system.
I'm defending the law.
So we have to pay for these people lying and exploiting the system who are foreign invaders, and you want to defend them.
I don't classify all of them as that. No, and by the way, even when you are denied,
foreign invaders.
It's
you know, Poland deals with foreign invaders.
Keep touching mine. Even when they're denied, they then have another 30 days to appeal to immigration court about.
So citizens that are being harmed by these foreign invaders, you want to defend them against the citizen.
That's a pivot.
That's not a pivot. Laken Riley was unalived by one of these people. One too many.
What happened to him?
What happened to Poland when one of the soldiers was unalived?
Why do I care about Poland? Invader? I don't live here. I don't live in Poland.
They passed a law that allowed them to use live bullets for anyone crossing the border.
I live here.
So,
I live here.
Why doesn't the United States pass a law in Laken Riley's honor to unalive any single person that tries to break in the border? Unalive them on the spot. Live bullets.
Idiot. Pew, 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 that was already the law. The Laken Riley Act.
Guess what?
The Laken
no one
Riley
would cross
Act,
the border
the
if they thought they were going to be killed coming over the border.
The Laken Riley Act is redundant.
No one would come over the border.
The Laken Riley Act is redundant. I'm not muting him. I just want you to know. Chicky did.
Who would come over the border if they knew they had a chance of being unalived? They wouldn't do it.
Laken Riley Act is redundant.
You're just defending fucking foreign invaders that want to destroy the country.
I'm defending the asylum law.
You're a terrorist. No, you're just a terrorist.
The asylum
You're a weak, sympathetic terrorist.
I'm defending
the asylum law. This is why 250,000 women got raped by Pakistani grooming gangs in the UK. You're part of the problem.
In the UK? What do I have to do with the goddamn UK? You're all over the place. Do you want to stay in the United States?
No, you're the reason Islamification is going to take over the United States of America.
Do you want to stay in the United States?
You're the reason the United States is being taken over by Islamification. You are the problem. You are a fucking domestic terrorist. How do you feel?
W's to me, and also W's to Sparky for the $50 on PayPal for buy racist. I don't know what the fuck. Suta and Poland and the UK, I don't know what the fuck that has to do with me at all. Don't know what that's got to do with me. I'm defending the law. Now, if these people are coming in and using asylum and then, as you say, they're lying about their reasonings for asylum, you said 90%, which is incorrect. It's somewhere around 70%. Are being denied their asylum claims, it seems like the system's working. It's not being exploited because we're catching it, right? But this is the law. So until they change this law, that is what it is. I'm single-handedly responsible for Islamifying America. Yes, apparently. I didn't know that. Oh my God, I have crabs. Good for me, I guess. Didn't know that was happening. The crash out was wild since you can't seem to, okay, new data. But new data shows migrants were more likely to be released by Trump than Biden. Ooh, I love that one. We're definitely keeping that one. We'll post this one also in the live chat. That's no point because it gave me nothing. That was also nothing. And encounters, as always, we'll post in the live outline because that's what we do. Soft and weak. You don't like the law. Have them change it. They can change it. They don't change it. Not my problem.
Tune in tonight for Monty's Accountability Live where she apologizes for 9/11.
Oh my God. Don't put me in the position of Hassan Piker. I'll fucking don't do it. Don't fucking do it. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't hit that thumbs up button, what are you doing? Hit that thumbs up button for me. I would appreciate it. Let's make Thank you, Sparky.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
And guys, thank you so much for tapping as we keep going today. My God. Wild. Did I get a raid in the middle of that conversation? Because I feel bad if I did. If I missed some raiders coming in. My bad. I apologize. Yes, I did. Did I have a fax raid? Thank you. For those of you who are still in here from fax, thank you guys. Welcome in. I'm sorry that you came into that crash out, but it is what it is. They have no control of their impulses or their emotions. But welcome in. I'm Monica, just Monty, and we try to run a news segment here on the show. We can't seem to quite get to it because they seem very, very upsetty spaghetti today. Don't know why, but we are going to get into it. So let's get into elections. Like I said, we're going to get into some of the results from last night, but first I'm going to start with some random stuff that was that I came across. So this is a Tennessee state representative who is quitting. So this is not on a federal level. This is within the state of Tennessee. He is a Republican state representative who is retiring. And this is what he told. By the way, also, I apologize to Twitch and YouTube for you guys not being able to hear the first part of that conversation. But if and when I clip it, I will get it from TikTok. So you'll be able to hear it in the rewatch if I do a video. Sorry about that. Yeah, they are very upset about that. We will get into that. But this is a Republican Tennessee state representative who is retiring.
What made you decide this was the year that you were like, okay, I've done enough?
Republicans introduced a bill that would allow schools to remove children who are here with parents illegally. I'm Christian, so I believe all these people are made in the image of God. So that bill didn't pass, thank goodness. But that's kind of where the mainstream GOP is at.
What made you decide?
So, he's a true Christian who believes that all children are made in the image of God, and he did not like the idea of sweeping and going after them in schools. W to him. I do have critique of him, though. The critique is you retiring and leaving. Stay in and fucking fight against your own party. Why can't you do that? If you have things that you disagree with in your party, stay and fight. Make your party look different. Don't just tuck tail and run. So that's the critique I have on that. And I would say that regardless of political affiliation. Don't fucking run. Do what you need to do. This one was just kind of funny. I don't know what... RFK Jr. is saying that he legally has no legal place, he has no legal place of residence according to a judge. I don't know what that is about, but he said it.
Secretary Kennedy, homelessness continues to be the number one issue in the city of Los Angeles. We have a mayoral election. Just curious if you're still registered to vote in the city of Los Angeles, if you followed this debate between the incumbent mayor and a DSA candidate, Nithya Raman, and if you plan on voting, and just tell us your thoughts about these this election.
I'm in a very strange position because when I ran for president, the Democratic Party sued me first to get me off the ballot in 12 states, including New York and California. And then when I endorsed President Trump, they sued me to keep me on the ballot in those same states. And in the course of
yeah, he did have issues. I'm not sure about the suing back and forth. I can honestly say that I'm not up to date on that. I do remember states that he did not have enough signatures to be on the ballot. I'm not sure about suing to get him off and suing to get him back on to split the vote. He could be right about that. I'm still waiting for what this has to do with him having a legal place of residence to vote.
One of those lawsuits, it was declared that I had no legal residence. And so I'm in a dilemma where I literally have no state where I can legally vote right now. I'm probably the only person in the country who's a legal citizen who has that dilemma, but I'm still trying to figure it out before the next election.
Yeah, so I'm really interested in that. I don't know what case he's talking about where a judge has ruled he has no legal place of residence. Wouldn't they just be like, okay, this is the one, stay there? Until you leave and re-register. It's interesting. I wanted to find the full thing, and I just didn't have time to be able to find it this morning, but Judge Indira Talwani has issued a new injunction blocking USPS from implementing President Trump's executive order on mail ballot rules for the 2026 midterms. The Supreme Court is currently weighing 2 requests to lift her earlier injunction against the same executive order. So, he had issued a new USPS new EO to have the USPS refuse to transmit mail ballots either not compliant with new design and technology requirements and or to individuals whose names do not appear on lists provided to USPS. So they were trying to have the United States Postal Service not issue mail-in ballots to states who refuse to turn over their voter rolls. There is now an injunction on this. It will go, we know it's going to go to the appeals court. They will probably try to overturn it. And it's probably going to end up trying to go to SCOTUS. Either way, he does not have the time to do this with which he thinks because he's failed horrifically on the Save America Act because it's a absolute legislative piece of shit. And now he's trying to figure out what to do in other forms. He is learning in real time. I don't know if he's actually learning it, but he is seeing in real time that executive orders don't mean shit. Executive orders are not legislation. Executive orders are not how you run a nation. And that's going to be really tough for him, seeing as he had a mandate and his majority in Congress and they can't seem to get it done. Not my problem. The fact that they put this back so that I can't see my gifts in a numerical order is really frustrating to me. So, let's move on. These election things are all out of order. I told you I'm all over the place today. But Penny Flanagan, Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, won their primary last night in Minnesota for U.S. Senate candidate to run in November. And she's going to be going against Michelle Tafoya, and she went after Michelle Tafoya in her speech last night.
We are not about to give Donald Trump another loyal soldier like Michelle Tafoya to take his orders and do his bidding. Michelle Tafoya was all in with Trump when ICE was terrorizing our neighbors. She even said ICE treated children really, really well. Well, Michelle, tell that to Liam Conejo Ramos. Tell that to the parents who were disappeared. Tell that to the kids who don't know where their mom or dad are right now. Because the last thing this country needs is to give Donald Trump another yes, sir, senator. We are not.
So hopefully we see, again, just because they want a primary doesn't mean the work is done. I want everybody to remember the work is not done so that you are focused on these races as we start getting closer to November because it's going to be important. I want to point out that the YouTube chat right now can't focus on what's actually happening as per usual. They're going off on their sad, tired fucking talking points. They have nothing left but fear-mongering and bullshit. That is what's happening in the YouTube chat. They're absolutely losing their minds about Muslim people. They're losing their minds saying that Democrats believe men can be women, even though nobody has ever said that. They are literally so fucking brainwashed. It's sad. It's sad to read the comments, to be honest. It's really sad. W's to Oh Me Oh My for the 40. Thank you guys so much. We're knocking out this goal quick today. It's his worm providing cover for itself, I guess. Yeah, the worm said, I do not want an actual identifiable location within the government. So they definitely don't want to be known. That's absolutely what's happening. Oh me, oh my. Saying they're losing their minds would suggest they had one. That's also true, Eli. That's true. All right. Let's go to the one a lot of people, well, not a lot of people are talking about. I guess there's quite a few a lot of people are talking about. But let's go to the pillow guy. Let's go to the goddamn pillow guy. He lost. And he lost handedly in a Republican primary. Okay? Don't know if you guys know this. When Donald Trump comes out and he truths and he's like, we did so well, sweeping. Actually, one of his endorsed candidates lost, and that was also Mike Lindell. But you're running against yourselves. It's Republican primary. The big election is in November. But Republican primary, he lost. And he couldn't really quite accept that. This was him losing whatever was left of his mind last night as votes still came in. Because don't know if you know this, you can project a winner and votes still come in. It's just that how the votes are trending is in a way that you are not going to be able to make up for it. So yeah, he literally lost everything. You lost your business, you lost the election, you lost your mind.
Here's the next report, everybody. Hold on. We just gained 5,000 votes. And we gained 5,000 votes, everybody. And the last 13,000 votes that were counted, we got 5,000. We gained 5,000 votes. So let's think about this. That means I got 10,000 and the rest of them got 3,000. If this is a sign.
Okay, look, I'm not good at math. And my community knows that I'm not good at math. A 5,000 vote dump is huge. I don't know where you would get that from. But if that means the 5,000 vote dump means that I got 10,000 and they got 3,000. What? What? Yeah, Cope is wild.
Gained 5,000 votes. So let's think about this. That means I got 10,000 and the rest of them got 3,000. If this is a sign, we will have the lead within an hour. I mean, this is big news.
He didn't have the lead within an hour.
This is a big jump, and they must have started counting the day of votes. So
You keep going up.
Okay.
They must have started the count the day of votes. That's what you guys want them to do. Are you a Republican or aren't you? Are you MAGA or aren't you? That's what you want them to do. You want them to count votes on election day. And also, that is also how elections work, unless you have certain, there are certain places who will it will say it's counted, but they don't release the results until election night when the polls close. That's how it works. That's how it works. They don't start counting until the day. Okay. And this is what you guys are fighting for. You want to remove mail-in ballots so that it's only in-person voting. Guess what? They don't count those until the polls close. That's what you want.
All right, everybody. Does anybody have any other questions?
If the AP calls the race for Lisa Dameth in the next half hour, will you concede?
If who does?
If the AP calls the race.
What is the AP? The voters. What the AP? Why would I listen to the AP?
Because they get the information. They get the information from the counties on the vote dumps. So they project. AP, NBC. Why? The voters.
There's 265,000 votes left to count. I'm down by 18,000 now. We just gained 5,000. I'm not going to.
That means that the projected of the votes coming in with the counties that are left are not enough for you to pick it up. That's what that means. You're down 18,000 votes, and they are looking at counties that are projected towards Lisa DeMuth. That's what that means. And you're not going to be able to make it up.
Give up this race until the votes are counted. That's nonsense.
Until all the votes are counted?
Until the votes are counted where I can't win. I mean, why would I call?
She asked you till all the votes are counted, until the votes are counted and I can't win. That's what they're saying now. That's what the projected winner is they're saying enough of the votes are counted. You're not going to be able to make these up. That's what they're saying.
Oh, now should I say it again? Now there's 264,000 votes left to count out of the last 13,000.
So, yeah, no, he didn't make it up. The projected winner in the Republican primary for governor is Lisa DeMuth. And Morning Joe, I'm not a huge fan of Morning Joe, but they were funny because he is now coming out. Mike Lindell, shocker to no one, 2020 election denier Mike Lindell came out and said that there were anomalies in the vote count of the Republican primary. Yep, no, totally the Republicans rigged it against yourself. Lisa DeMuth, who also doesn't believe in woke gender ideology, totally rigged it against you, Mike. Yeah, that's absolutely what fucking happened.
Lindell is not conceding.
Says there are irregularities. Willie. Mr. Pillow.
There's anomalies.
Mr. Pillow had the stuffing knocked out of him last night.
I can't.
Feathers all over the floor. And here he is talking about irregularities. Irregularities in a Republican primary, just like he talked about irregularities in the 2020 campaign. It's just, I mean, again, it was in a Republican primary, and he got, again, he got the stuffing knocked out of him. I mean, the only irregularity here, maybe in his bowel movements, I don't know, his personal business, but
oh my God.
The rest of it, exactly.
Oh my God, Joe.
Exactly. So why is he even saying it? It makes me uncomfortable. Really. What? It makes me uncomfortable.
I can't.
What in the world is right?
I can't. It is so early in the morning.
Try some prunes, my man. Try some prunes. Just stop. Just
Mr. Pillow might be a little backed up from all the lawsuits. Who knows?
Mr. Pillow might be backed up from all the lawsuits. Yeah, that's also that.
He might be.
He is backed up.
Stop, Willie.
He is.
Well,
you know, it's tough for him.
We're not doctors. We're just speculating here.
I can't stand them. But it's like, oh my God, like the new Carrie Lake. Like, it's rigged against me. Against your own people? Republicans rigged it against you to lose. What? Doesn't make any sense. All right, let's do a hard pivot to Wisconsin. So, okay. How do I preface this to start this, to be honest? Y'all need to stop, and I'm talking to the left. Because I'm always telling the right to stop. We know that. I'm always telling the right to stop, and they're not going to do so. So I'm going to talk to the left. Stop. Fucking stop. Because all you are doing is helping Tom Tiffany. That's all you're doing. I just want you to fucking know. The right has come out heavy on Twitter. And they have said that because of what we're going to go over in a minute, because of what happened in Milwaukee, that this shows signs that the elections aren't safe and Donald Trump needs to issue a national emergency this November. And you guys are like, it was taken from her. It was taken from her. Stop. She lost. It was close. It was close. She lost. And as somebody who wasn't a fan, she lost. I'm not saying I like David Crowley any better. What I'm saying is that she had stances. She was not firm on those stances. She backed off of those stances. The fact that she was within 3,000 votes is a fucking testament to itself because she was not a good candidate. I'm sorry. She just wasn't. She was not a good candidate. She wasn't. But let's talk about it. So let's talk about what happened in Milwaukee. We're going to get it from the eyes of Steve Kornacki, who got it live, and his face was as flabbergasted as the rest of us.
I guess the exact thing, yes, is...
The right is saying that, Ducky. That's the thing. The right is saying that because they're saying it as a way to try to question the integrity.
I guess the exact thing, yes, is if 5 of the USB sticks were missing results from the election, so then they have to go try to re-grab them. Yeah, and they're all the folks behind the scenes are talking about this as well, so we can also look. It's unfortunate.
The folks behind the scenes here, you're saying?
Yes.
Are
are, how do I ask this artfully?
So, and I have another clip from him that I will show you. 5 USB sticks that were meant to have vote counts to be dumped, missing. They needed to go back to the machines and actually re-download the data. Now, we will have somebody from Milwaukee who comes on and talks about how it was a human error and it happened. Not great. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, okay, yeah, it's fine. No, you guys are stupid. But TikTok in Minecraft, I'm talking about the ethereal of estúpide. But the thing is they were able to get the information. The problem that we're having is that both the right and the left now are saying, well, they downloaded the information and all of a sudden David Crowley took the lead and won. Yeah, because vote dumps happen. So if we would have gotten the original vote dump and it was the same, would you have said the same things? Or is it just because we had to go re-download the data? It's silly to me. I just don't, like, you guys are, like, get it together. If we're going to be consistent, be fucking consistent. You can't sound just as crazy as Trump and Carrie Lake and everybody else. You can't do that. But Steve Kornacki just made me laugh in way of his like, what the fuck?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
They have to. What were they? Okay.
So it ended up being a very late night for Kornacki and for people who were watching the Wisconsin primary. And again, here is the person from Milwaukee saying about what happened. They basically came out and said, oops. I don't like oops. So I think that after this is done and over with, we need to go in and do a full-on, which they most likely will. They most likely will in Wisconsin. But we need a full-on audit of what happened. Need to find out exactly what happened and how to keep it from happening again. Those things are all needed. That's why we have those kinds of systems. But to sit here and act as if Wisconsin's not a swingy-ish state and that this was going to happen, like, even, I don't know, I'm frustrated. Because we like, Abdul won, and that's great. Abdul won, and that's great. It was a lot closer than people thought it was. You guys are basing a lot of this, because a lot of the actual polls were like Haley Stevens, Abdul Sayed, and it was alternating. So there was no real way to track. So what you guys are basing this on was like Kalshi, like prediction markets. Like, don't do that. Maybe don't do that. And maybe stick to the context of the state you're voting in and what people are willing to see and what they're not willing to see. But this in and of itself deserves a complete and full investigation and audit. I'm totally fine with that. It's only coming out of my left ear, just so you know. If you're wearing like a right headphone, it's only coming out of the left.
There's the audit log and the results. What we uncovered was that 5 of the sticks had the audit log downloaded and not the results.
So see, they weren't even missing. The USBs weren't missing. The USBs had the audit log on it, not the vote count, which is what they wanted, was the vote count.
It's a human error. These things can happen. So basically what we need to do is go.
That means somebody downloaded the audit log instead of the vote count. Oops. Yeah, bad. Again, full investigation and audit. Totally fine with that.
Back to the operations center, and we're going to download out of those 5 machines the results and make sure that it's not the audit log.
So they went back to the machines. They downloaded the vote count. They distributed it out. She lost. Yeah, Bernie Bros did set a bad precedent. They weren't like, yeah. And it's, yeah. Yeah. So the results are what they are. Let's look at them. I know, Hector. And the lefties aren't helping. The lefties aren't fucking helping. Because they also don't know how to lose. David Crowley beat her. See how the votes are still coming in? Because there's a different, They were very close. Yes, very, 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 very close. She just didn't meet the mark. They just didn't meet the mark. Exactly, Hector. Thank you. Oh my God. I agree. God, I see how slim her loss was as an accomplishment because of how far. Now, I personally was not a huge fan of her as a candidate. I just don't think she was as strong in her stances as she should have been. If you're going to say some shit, stand by some shit. Don't fucking back off to try and win an election. That's gross. I don't like it. It doesn't make me trust you, but I'm not in Wisconsin. So not my vote, not my voice. But she was very, very, very close, which shows that there is an appetite for it even in states like Wisconsin, that we can see progressive candidates starting to pick up that pace, starting to move forward. And as, again, Hector points out, every vote fucking matters. Don't ever say that your vote doesn't matter, because it does. Look what that came down to. It does matter. Don't yell fraud. Don't yell rigged. Yell vote. Don't boo, vote. Thank you, Obama. I love you so much. Come back. The babysitter's weird. Take accountability for your vote sometimes. Like, sometimes it's not the system fucking you over. A majority of the time it's the system fucking you over. Sometimes it's you. You didn't do your job. You weren't an accountable voter. You didn't research enough. I don't know. But don't feed into what the right is doing all over the internet today and trying to say that this is a reason for Donald Trump to institute a national emergency for elections. Don't do that, because you're just feeding into what they want. Please don't do that. I am going to play some of David Crowley's speech, though, since he is, suck it up, Buttercup, he is going to be the candidate that runs against, who is that? That's Tom Tiffany. Against Tom Tiffany in Wisconsin in November.
Now that this primary has come to a close, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is David Crowley. I am a son of Milwaukee. I'm a community organizer by heart who has just happened to find himself in the halls of the state capitol building.
Well, that's the thing, too. Real quick. The USBs were from Milwaukee specifically. If he's from there, it's not shocking that when those votes came in, it was for him.
At the head of Milwaukee County government for the last 6 years. My road to this moment wasn't perfect. It was hallmarked by childhood eviction, family addiction, and mental health struggles, and some very dark days where I didn't even know where I'm going to lay my head down at night. I know what it means to face hardship because I've lived it. I know what it's like to rely on public schools, to depend on opportunity, and to believe that if people invest in you, your future can improve and it absolutely can change.
So what I'll say is, good morning, Kelly, but then to the other Kelly, you said, now I focus on harm reduction. I am going to cite and quote the brilliant, wonderful Mia, who's in the chat right next to you. Love you, Mia. Who talks about collective benefit, not harm reduction, collective benefit. What we can gain from the candidate, because harm reduction, although we all use it, I've used it, sounds good. It also doesn't sound good because it's like, well, I have to, because, like harm reduction. There's not a lot of things to look forward to with that phrase. Collateral benefit sounds much better because what can we get out of this candidate? What can we find places for them to move for? Where can we move them? Because even if he goes and wins as governor, you have a voice in Wisconsin, or maybe not you, but people have a voice in Wisconsin to be able to push them. Collective benefit is what we need to start using instead of harm reduction. It makes us sound like we lost. It makes us sound like it's a consolation prize, and it's not. Here she is to explain herself, because I won't speak for her.
Girl, if you don't stop saying collective, it's collateral.
Collateral. Sorry. You know me. I'm a commie. Collective. Collective everything.
Collective everything is crazy. So yeah, collateral benefit. The collateral benefit would be basically the way that marginalized communities always get the collateral damage once, for instance, like a white woman's rights are taken away, like the black people's rights have already been gone, right? So if you think about a black woman and how if she can benefit, that means everybody's going to benefit. There's like, so you are the collateral benefit of being able to, you know what, I need this, this, and this. I'm going to benefit from this because I know that marginalized person is going to benefit from it. So that's the gist of, we always talk about collateral damage, but we never talk about the collateral benefit. And if you start looking at it at a scope like that, like if that person's benefiting, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to be fine. Think of things like DEIA. Think of things like that benefited white women more than what they quote unquote claimed it to be benefiting black people. Let's be so fucking for real. When we talk about civil rights, it was for the collective. There you go. It was for everybody rather than just black people. It's never been specific to one group when it comes to benefits. It's only been like harm has been always specific to a group. So
yeah, no, that's true. If we get that collateral benefit down from where the bottom, it makes its way upwards. So just as collateral damage makes its way downwards, we have to focus on that.
Yep, because it also goes back to like you're only as strong as your weakest link, right? So if you're looking at how the people that are getting the shit under the stick when it comes to legislation, when it comes to, because let's be so fucking for real, equality is a Band-Aid. It's a pacifier. It's to shut people up. You want to look for equity because if you have equity, like that's what they don't want y'all to realize. When you have equity, everybody has their needs met. And that's the most important part. When everybody has their needs met, that honestly reduces like shit like crime, especially like petty crimes, because people don't have to steal to eat. So there's that.
Yay.
You're hot.
God. I'm hot, but I say words wrong, which we know about me, so it's fine. Thank you guys for getting to 100,000 likes. I appreciate you guys so much. If you weren't following Mia is gonna type. She better type in the chat again. Follow Mia because she's brilliant. Like honestly, just brilliant. You say words exactly right. Your mouth is just iffy. No, I don't. I think there's plenty of clips to prove that I don't. There's an entire group chat that's named after.
God, I have crabs.
Thanks, Peter. There's an entire group chat named after the things that I say wrong. You pronounced everything.
I've experienced setbacks. I've made mistakes. But I've also experienced the power of second chances, the strength of community, and the importance of leaders who never give up on people. Those experiences, it has shaped who I am today. They taught me that our government works best when we open doors for everyone instead of closing them. That leadership is measured by results, not rhetoric. And that every child deserves the same chance to succeed, regardless of where they were born or what neighborhood they grew up in. That's why I've dedicated my life to public service, not public office. Because what we do isn't just about winning elections. It's about improving the lives of our neighbors. Because we know the most patriotic thing that we can do as Wisconsinites and as Americans is to see those who disagree with us as human beings, deserving the same rights and the same opportunities as everyone else. Instead of fearing those we cannot understand and letting that fear divide us, patriotism is doing the work to see the humanity in all of our neighbors. It is our work that puts our future generations first and prioritizes progress for all of us. So today begins a new chapter. Today, we get back to work. We'll knock on more doors. We'll have more conversations. We'll welcome Democrats, Republicans, independents, and every Wisconsinite who believes in democracy, who believes in opportunity in moving our entire state forward. Together, we will build the broad coalition that this moment absolutely demands. Together, we will reject division. Together, we will reject extremism. Together, we will make history and write the next chapter of Wisconsin's story, one built on opportunity, compassion, hard work, and hope. And together, we will defeat Tom Tiffany. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you to the people who knocked on doors. Thank you to every single corner of this great state. Because Wisconsin, we got work to do. God bless you all, and thank you for being here. God bless you. God bless you.
Now, another critique that I'm seeing, TikTok, stop it. Get it together. You're fine. My goodness. Another critique that I'm seeing that I'd have to investigate more. Again, I don't live in Wisconsin. Okay, so it's not like I followed the candidates heavy. We talked about Francesca Hong. I personally said I don't like her, but again, I don't have a voice in Wisconsin. I don't live in Wisconsin. I just don't think that she was strong enough on her stances. I don't think she explained them well enough. I don't think they were digestible to the people in Wisconsin. But another critique of David Crowley is this, that I keep coming across for some reason, is this pro data center stance, allegedly. But what's interesting is the videos I'm getting don't necessarily say that. So here's the thing. We talked about this on my platform a lot in way of data centers. I would like to get as many moratoriums out there on data centers as is possible. I'm actually really mad because in Colorado, the city council in Aurora had a secret overnight vote repealing the moratorium on data centers. He isn't loud enough against the data centers. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Not loud enough against them. The thing is, we're not going to get rid of them 100%. We're not going to be able to stop the tech that's now already out there. All we can do is put regulation and restriction on it. We're not going to be able to stop it outright. Unless he speaks out loud enough for that. But again, we can push them to do that. We can push him to do that. Make it a core point. Have conversations with him. Show up to his, his rallies, his events. Have those conversations to ensure that, hey, you need to be stronger on this stance of restriction in regards to data centers. So this is like the clip that I found that they're like, he's so pro data center. I'm not saying where he's pro. I'm just saying, I would agree that maybe not as strong as we would want to see in a candidate.
When it comes down to the growth, we also have to understand that tech is here, and that is the opportunity that we have to take advantage of. And while we have to make sure that we put guardrails in place, protecting ourselves from these data centers when it comes down to our environment, when it comes down to our energy, I also look at the possible opportunity of us getting a piece of it. When it comes down to the growth.
Right. And that's what I got from this video. Is it Aline? Or is it meant to be like Eileen? I always feel like I'm going to say it wrong when I see you in the chat and I feel bad. But he supports a strong regulatory framework that allows data center development if items are met. So don't listen to me because I don't fucking live there. Listen to Aline. Okay? That's who I want you to listen to. Yes, the first way. Al, then lean. Okay, perfect. Yay! But don't listen to me. Listen to them. If you're in Wisconsin and you're unsure now because you feel disappointed by your vote, this is how you build community to get together to talk and see what's going to be the best thing moving forward. Yes, Francesca Hong lost, and that sucks, but the progress she made as the kind of candidate she is in a place like Wisconsin is amazing. But now the fight goes to Republicans like Tom Tiffany. Election deniers like Tom Tiffany. And that's going to be a problem. And the problem in and of itself, there's this huge idea that the Republicans are more scared of establishment candidates than they are DSA ones. I think a lot of that is blowhard, but here is Ron Johnson saying that they need to get it together because of the vote disparity. The amount of votes that came in versus the amount of for Democratic candidates were in general compared to the Republican candidates, they know is a problem. Because if we can get people to start coming together, right? Like Francesca Hong come out and endorses David Crowley. I think she already, did she already? I'm not sure if she did. I know that the person who was running against Peggy Flanagan did. And we build that coalition and come together, they have no fucking shot.
elections. So no, these polls are highly unreliable. I think what's concerning to me now, we didn't have really a contested primary for Republican governor, but we had about 500,000 Republicans come out and vote in our primary, 700,000 Democrats. That's a 200,000 vote differential there. That's what ought to concern Tom Tiffany. And of course, now he's not going to run against Francesca Hong. He's probably going to have more formidable opponents. So President Trump is going to have to encourage the people that voted for him not to vote for socialists like they did in New York, but to vote for Republicans so that he's not facing impeachment charges in the House and that we can retain a majority in the Senate.
They're scared. They're scared of that vote count because the Democrats are coming out. Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't think that he should get it, just get the voters. I think Hong should come out and support him, but I don't think that means that Crowley gets the voters automatically. You would still have to earn those, absolutely. Said that they need to unite for November. Yeah, makes sense. No, he would still have to do the work. I just think that work is helped a little bit by shaking hands. All right. We're going to pivot to the economy now. Hold on, I need to hydrate. All right. We're going to pivot to the economy. As we are sitting here, guys, I appreciate we're at 126,000 likes. Let's start we make that up, please. I am on for a little less than 2 hours. We need to make sure that we hit 300,000 before we end today, so let's make sure that we are doing that. We are only at 64 shares. If you have yet to share the live, I know you can't repost it. I know that that's gone. That happens as soon as I start showing stuff. But if we could share out the live, that would be amazing. Try to get that to 100 shares. That would be awesome. I'd appreciate it. I see that we just completed the finger hearts, so we'll move on to something else. They took away my beautifully organized gift menu, so I have to do this the hard way again. And I don't like it, but here we are. So let's keep doing all those good things. If you're watching on YouTube and you have not hit that thumbs up button yet, hit that thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. Helps push us out onto that algorithm over here. And guys, I have 5-0 left in my goal with a couple hours left to go. We can definitely get that down with a $1 train, $2 train, $5 train. Let's crowdfund to pay for women's labor. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, on the link tree in my bio as we move to the economy. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this. Donald Trump yesterday. Can anybody tell me what reality Donald Trump is living in? Because it's definitely not the one that I'm in, but this is what he said about the country.
Fantastic time in Ohio. The country's doing well. The stock market's fantastic record. We have 79 records so far in a short period of time. More people are working right now in the United States than ever before. And
more people have removed themselves from the labor market. That's why unemployment went down. It's because people are just not looking for jobs in the labor market anymore.
Prices are dropping fast. Iran is going fine.
What prices are dropping?
Going just absolutely fine. We totally control the Strait of Hormuz. We have control over.
The Strait of what? Did he just call me a slur? I mean, I am a gay. But did he just call me a slur?
And prices are dropping fast. Iran is going fine, going just absolutely fine. We totally control the Strait of Hormuz. We have control over it. Nobody else, only us. Our Navy is unbelievable. And things are going great for our country. Go ahead. Fantastic.
Strait of... It sounded like the Strait of Homos, but, that's just me. But we don't want any straits there. We would like to block the straits from our gay agenda. The stock market's up. Sure. Okay, rich people are getting rich. That's great. Love that. Awesome. The prices are falling. Where? Where are the prices falling? Okay, well, we'll talk about it. Why don't we talk about it? Because the CPI came out today. So... Here's the Consumer Price Index from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Oh, maybe not. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Hello, Tiffany, New York, 37.
Who'd you vote for?
I voted for Trump.
Okay, what'd you call to talk about?
I just saw that clip of Trump talking about them controlling the Strait of Hormuz. Is that true?
I wouldn't think so, seeing as they're still shooting at ships in the strait. I don't think that we control it, and our oil's still up, so no.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so on to my main point. So yeah, he said that everything is going down and that they're making money, but they're making money off of the suffering of the small folk.
I agree. Do you regret your vote for Trump?
I honestly do.
What was the moment that changed it for you?
Well, his first term went pretty smooth. I mean, a little rocky. And then the second term, he just came into office and forgot all his promises.
I mean, I would say that he just lied. I mean, even in his first term, to be fair, even in his first term, he started a trade war with China that had economists saying that we were going to be seeing a recession. If anything, the pandemic saved his reputation on that.
I agree. Now, if it wasn't for the pandemic, he would have been booted out a long time ago. I'm actually more of a J.D. Vance girl.
Why?
I just think he's young, he's handsome, he's very personable, and he knows how to talk. He knows how to get things done in a professional manner without shitting his pants.
Sure, he might be more professional in way of he knows how to speak in the terms of politics. But personable, I wouldn't agree with, because if you've ever seen him interact with people, he's very, very awkward.
Yeah, I think he might be like a robot of some sort, like a drone.
Cool. Yeah. How do you feel about Mamdani?
Not literally, but yeah. Mamdani, I live in New York, so I didn't personally vote for Mamdani because I was afraid. You know, like I voted for Trump and I regret it. And I didn't want to do the same thing with Mamdani, so it was like a wait and see attitude. And so far he's kept us afloat, above water. We are not drowning. The city is not burning. And I've seen maybe a 5% betterness, I guess. Like, nothing's really changed, you know. It's just like the continuous corruption over here in New York.
Okay, you haven't seen a change. Sure. Well, I don't think that we have much to speak on, but I appreciate you calling. Have a wonderful day. Guys, I don't know anybody. I think anybody's Randy now. So to be fair, I don't know. But if JD Vance is both personable and a robot, I don't know how you get there. So I checked out of the conversation after that. All right, Consumer Price Index summary. The Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers, CPIU, increased 0.1% on a seasonally adjusted basis in July after falling 0.4% in June. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today, over the last 12 months, the all items indexed increased 3.4% before seasonal adjustment. So, prices are going up. Inflation is 0.1 lower than it was last month. That does not mean anything for our prices. The index for shelter rose 0.1% in July, accounting for roughly 2/3 of the monthly all items increase. The index for food also increased 0.1% over the month, as the index for food away from home increased 0.3%. In contrast, the energy index declined 1.5% in July. The index for all items less food and energy rose 0.2% after being unchanged in June. Indexes that increased over the month include medical care, airline fares. I bet, that's Spirit Airlines. Thank you, Ari. I almost forgot about Spirit. Communication, education, and recreation. Conversely, the index for motor vehicle insurance was among the major indexes that decreased in July. The all items index rose 3.4% for the 12 months ending July after rising 3.5% for the 12 months ending June. So the all items less food and energy index rose 2.5% over the year, following a 2.6% increase over the 12 months ending June. The energy index increased 14.7% for the 12 months ending July. The food index, increased 3.0% over the last year. So let's do CNBC, because they do a lot more of a human person-to-person explanation, a personable one, if you will. Whereas the BLS does sound like a robot. That would be factually accurate. All right. Consumer prices rose 0.1% in July as expected, putting the annual rate at 3.4%. A key inflation reading, did I have that up twice? Yes. A key inflation reading Wednesday showed prices moderating across a range of goods and services, possibly taking the urgency out of an imminent interest rate hike. The Consumer Price Index, part of the Federal Reserve's inflation dashboard showed a seasonally adjusted increase of 0.1% during July, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Excluding food and energy, the so-called core CPI rose 0.2%. On an annual basis, the inflation rates were 3.4% and 2.5%. Both down 0.1 percentage points from June. So yeah, in way of what they're talking about, there has been speculation that the Fed is going to raise the interest rates a couple times this year because of what has been going on. You have higher inflation and less job hiring, so that leads to a stagnant economy. That's not what we want to see. So you get a rate hike so that people stop spending, so that we can try to cool that and bring it back down. What this leads to is what they're saying is still not a rate lower, which is what Donald Trump would love to see. It would just be steady again. Kevin Warsh would come out and be like, well, we're just keeping it at what it is, and move on with their life. All of the readings were in line with the Dow Jones consensus forecast. Though the levels held well above the Fed's 2% target, the tame monthly readings, coupled with similarly moderate levels in June, indicate that the energy-fueled burst earlier in the year is easing, though prices remain volatile and subject to constantly changing conditions in the Middle East. So here you have your less food energy, 2.5. You have your all items, 3.4, which is like the CPI that we tend to track, okay? Stock market futures rose following the release, while treasury yields were negative across the board. That's not good. Traders further cut the probability for September rate hike, lowering the odds to 42% according to CME Group's FedWatch gauge of futures prices. Energy prices dropped another 1.5% for the month, following a 5.7% decrease in June. Still, the sector saw an annual increase of 14.7% following sharp gains in the prior months, including a 10.9% surge in March, just after the attacks against Iran began. So here's the thing. You will probably see Trump supporters touting, look at decrease, look. Yeah, again, putting out a fire that you started. You put out a fire that you started. That's a problem. So you can see the increase versus the decrease that we allegedly saw. Airline fares accelerated by 2.2%. We lost an airline. That makes sense. On top of fuel costs for airlines, you're going to see an increase. So that's the CPI. That's the inflation. Still higher than it was when he took over under the Biden administration. But don't worry, because we're definitely going to take accountability for that and have a plan for it. Why wouldn't we in this administration?
I think one thing you should stress more often, look, there is still inflation, but it's Biden's inflation. That's and so right. When people see these inflation,
did you see the chart that came in yesterday?
How is it Biden's inflation? How is this 3.5, 3.4 Biden's inflation? Thank you, the man with the face, for sending us all the way back to 2022. I appreciate it. Can we come back to Earth? Come back to Earth? No? Okay.
I think one thing you should stress more often, look, there is still inflation, but it's Biden's inflation. That's and so right. When people see these inflation,
did you see the chart that came in yesterday? I'm the lowest of the last 10 presidents on inflation. I mean, it's crazy. It's a chart. And Biden, by the way, was highest. Well, it's not only inflation. I inherited high prices. And then the day I got in, the reporters started saying, what are you going to do about affordability? Like it was my fault. I said,
It's not that it was your fault. It's that you campaigned on lowering prices day one. I don't understand this rewriting of history. He campaigned on lowering prices on day one. And then is mad that they were like, hey, how are you going to handle affordability? Oh, hold on now. Just a second. Yet lowest of the last 10 presidents. What? What?
I've been here one day. Remember they hit me with eggs? I said, what about eggs? He said, well, it's up 4 times. I said, this is my first day in office. Give me a break, right? Remember that famous news conference where they're saying, what are you going to do about eggs? I said, hey, I just got here. And by the way, eggs are now down to lower than they were in my administration.
Not because of anything he did, again.
But I brought the pricing down. And as soon as the Iran war ends, you call it a war, call it a military conflict. But as soon as it ends, you'll see oil prices. And by the way, oil prices.
I don't know why the sound is crackly, but it's messing with my ears.
This is a low anyway. You know, just so you understand, oil is lower than it was during the Biden administration. And I stopped them from having a nuclear weapon. Because if I didn't do what I did, they would right now have a nuclear weapon, and you would be addressing them as sir. You would call them sir. You know, it's one of those things.
Sorry, real quick. Maybe quick. Maybe not. You want to come up? Because, like, you seem to have an issue in other chats. So. No, you don't want to. Did we win again? Yeah, just winning all the time. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to see if they want to come up. No, it doesn't seem they want to come up. Interesting. I wonder why not. Okay, we played that one. So then we got to keep going because Republicans will simp. So this is Representative Herodopoulos. Once again.
What about Biden?
There's no doubt that polls right now are challenging for the reality that that we all face. I mean, there are prices that we're still dealing with in the Biden administration, and the contrast is what do.
So now the prices that we're dealing with, although Donald Trump says that the prices are great, the prices are going down, the country is doing so well, it's the greatest economy we've ever had, we're now in the golden age, those prices are from Biden. Yay, we did it. You can't blame Joe Biden for the prices while your president says that the prices are great. You cannot have it both ways. You are going to have to make a decision about who's fucking lying to you. Holy hairline Batman. And his name is Herodopoulos. Isn't that wild? How long are you going to blame Biden for? When is it Trump's economy? Because Trump is taking credit for it right now, saying it's great and telling everybody else to shut up, while at the same time blaming Biden.
The Democrats want to do. They want to go back to the Biden economy.
Yeah, actually, I would. I would like to go back to the Biden economy because although it was not it wasn't necessarily affordable, it was more affordable than now. That would be great. So we continue on with the Glaze Fest. Yeah, why not? Let's continue on with the Glaze Fest. Here's Byron Donalds on News Nation. Hey. Oh, real quick, actually, before I do that, we have to have this conversation. W's to Raina came in first. To be fair, Peter, Raina's notification came first. So thank you to Raina for the 214, bringing us down to 4786, which is a flip on our favorite number. We have a couple stickers in the chat that represent that. 4786. But then Peter also sent it. But Raina said for 8647, love you, Monty. Love you too, Raina. And then Peter also sent 214 for favorite number backwards crab queen. Thank you. So I had to do the math on that, which is 4572. But I just wanted you to be able to see it. I love how my community is just on the same page about the numbers that we want to see on the screen. Love you guys so much for that. So W's, I appreciate it. That wealth didn't go to the poor. What, in under Biden's admin? No. Of course not. No, the metrics of the stock market doing good, like now, have no effectuation on the poor. Yeah, no. There was no, what was good in Biden's economy wasn't helping out people at their kitchen tables. I agree completely. But they both, Biden, I've said this before, Biden came out and was like, it's great. Bitch, no, it wasn't. People were still hurting, and Trump's doing the exact same thing. I'm just confused because Republicans are saying, you know, this is Biden's fault. Trump is saying it's all great. Thank me. And so I'm confused, I guess. He destroyed small business is one thing to say, but unfortunately for you, Tasty Cake, you're still muted for the live.
Is you starting to run for governor, is being a Republican now toxic a little bit because of President Trump?
No, not at all. And let's be clear, Leland, even in one of those clips, what the president was talking about is that when he's trying to negotiate with a theocratic dictatorship in Iran, he has to be focused on those negotiations because it's the Iranians who are, frankly, have been weaponizing the Strait of Hormuz to cause economic pain here.
So not only is it the Democrats' fault, but the Iranians are weaponizing the Strait of Hormuz. Now, were they doing that prior to February 28th of 2026, MAGA? Was Iran weaponizing the Strait prior to February 28th? What gave them the position to realize that they could? Oh, us. Okay. Donald Trump did that? The weaponizing the thing we control. Again, yeah, and also that. Z-Spark, Donald Trump comes out and says, we control the Strait. Then how is Iran weaponizing the Strait if we control it? You guys, it is so obvious that they are lying to you, and they are so terrible at lying to you, and you continue to let them. I do not understand it. I don't understand the glazing. Are you just scared that you have nothing left of a personality if you let him go? You're gonna have to let him go. God's gonna take him home at some point. Can you be honest? Just be honest. Jeff, no. Like, yes, Jeff, but no, because you would have to show me a policy that is left over that we are seeing rollover from Biden here in 2026. That's the thing. You would have to point me to policy that is rollover from this versus what we are seeing in regards to the war with Iran, Jeff.
In America and around the world, they've been doing that because they want nuclear weapons and they want to continue to wage terror around the globe. And so that's why the Iranians moved to close the Strait of Hormuz. But when it comes to the economy, we got to remember, I think in one of the early clips leading into this segment, a lady said 5 years ago, you can go to the store with $100 and it's not that way today. Well, let's remember what happened 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it was Joe Biden and the Democrats, their disastrous economic policy, which created the largest inflation in this country that most people have ever seen in their lives, the biggest inflation spike in more than 50 years in our...
Which policy? Which economic policy? So 5 years ago, 2021, which economic policy did the Democrats institute that raised the inflation the way it did? By the way, brought it back down. Brought it down. It was 3.0 when Trump took office. So what did they do to effectuate that? Oh, we don't want to talk about that part, Byron? Oh, okay.
Country brought by Democrat policy. So for the American people...
Which one? Why can they never list you the policy?
This November going to the polls, the real question is, who is helping you keep more money in your pocket? Who is working to make the economy better versus the people that broke the economy and brought the inflation in the first place?
I'm sorry, they brought global inflation that was affecting every country? I didn't know that the Democrats were so powerful. The Democrats and Joe Biden were so powerful that they brought inflation to the country at 9%, even though the UK was experiencing 11 or 12%. Didn't know they brought global inflation from supply chain issues from a global pandemic. Wow, so powerful.
The Democrats broke it. Donald Trump and Republicans are working very hard to fix it.
Obviously not hard enough. It's 2026, babe. What are we doing? Your president says it's good to go. So you're not working on shit because your President Trump is like, hey, give me the credit. I did it.
And if you look at our economy since President Trump has come back, wages adjusted for inflation in our country are up. That's a stark difference from where things were under the Democrats when they were in charge.
And inflation is outpacing wage growth now, thanks to President Trump. Why can't they just be honest with you? Why? They just fucking can't. They just can't do it. They refuse to do it. I promised I was going to play this clip again. Just a portion of it from Caroline Leavitt yesterday. Yes, she was talking about socialists and communists and blah, blah, blah. But she repeated that Trump has made it affordable. Yeah, wages decreased for July. Yeah.
Allowing complete lawlessness and chaos across our country. We had 4 years of that under Joe Biden. Thanks to President Trump and Republicans and common sense policies across the board, our country is safer. Our country is more affordable. Allowing complete lawlessness and chaos across our country. We had 4 years of that under Joe Biden. Thanks to President Trump and Republicans and common sense policies across the board, our country is safer. Our country is more affordable.
Our country is more... That's a wild screenshot. Wild freeze frame. Our country is more affordable. Where? Objection. Citation needed. Okay, I still put this in economy because our beef prices are so high. By the way, there's a recall on raw beef from Argentina. Yay! Love that they imported all this beef from Argentina that we're now recalling. Love that for us, but because it didn't go through re-inspection. But the Bulwark did some reporting on the fact that Brooke Rollins has a new theory. The cartels are smuggling cattle into the United States. This is Brooke Rollins, the head of the USDA. The cartels are smuggling cattle into the United States. What's her evidence for that? Oh, she openly admits that we don't have a case of it happening.
My favorite cabinet member is Brooke Rollins.
Agriculture?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see her every once in a while.
Yeah, only on this show, I think, is probably where you see her. I like to keep an eye on her from time to time. She was in Texas talking about the wall, the aforementioned wall that we're continuing to build, and she took an ag angle on why the wall was needed, and I want to share that with you.
Illicit cattle movement by cartel. Is that happening on this part of the border? That is one thing that we have been tracking very closely, is that illicit cattle. To date,
illicit cattle, not the illicit cattle. Oh no.
we don't know of one case that has crossed the border into America. We just know that it is a real possibility.
This is y'all in your boogeyman numbers, but like it could happen. They could be doing it.
Now it's the hordes of military age. Yeah, the caravans of military-aged migrant cattle. Jesus Christ. And Kamala's just going to let them in.
We have no recorded cases. But it's possible. It's possible.
By cartel. Is that happening on this part of the border? That is one thing that we have been tracking very closely, is that illicit cattle. To date, we don't know of one case that has crossed the border into America. We just know that it is a real possibility.
But what if they do it? But what if? What if that's all you... It could only bad happen. It could only bad happen. You guys are scared of everything. You're so scared of everything. You're scared of black and brown people. You're scared of fucking trans people. You're scared of fucking women. You're scared of socialism and communism. You are so scared of everything. You're now scared of illicit cattle that haven't even been brought into the country yet. We haven't had one. Not one case. But, like, they could do it. But what if they did? What if I jumped out of an airplane? Bitch, I don't know. What are you talking about?
We're monitoring the cartels bringing in cattle. Hasn't happened yet, but the cartel cattle issue in Big Bend is the big thing to be concerned about.
Which way is it a problem if the illicit cattle go?
I think they're worried about the Mexican cattle coming here. I really don't know why. I guess maybe the Mexican cattle could have a screw worm or something.
Oh my God, no, here's my take. She's so desperate to get in on like the Kristi Noem vacuum where somebody can go down to the border and wear the cool sunglasses and be there. It's like, what's my angle as the agriculture secretary? It's like, okay, so we know drug trafficking is bad. Yeah. We know human trafficking is bad. I got cattle.
What if they put fentanyl on the back of the cow?
Cattle.
They're hiding fentanyl in the cow's udders.
Oh my God.
Okay, you don't even know it. And then they get here and they're milking the cow and it's fentanyl milk. And it's getting to our children.
Don't give them any ideas, Tim Miller, what are you doing? You're giving them ideas because they're going to fucking say that next. That's going to be their talking point, Jesus Christ.
And it's a big problem.
Huge.
Yeah, she's a disaster. It's just a disaster all around.
It's too bad she can't ride a horse. That's really the problem here.
Maybe she should shoot a dog. Maybe that would help her image because it's not working. Whatever she's doing in the USDA, it's not working. That one was just kind of a funny in between. God. All right. Why did I write date? It's supposed to say debt. What was I typing this morning? Credit card debt. Let's go into credit card debt. PBS. That's still not how you spell that. Credit card debt has increased over the last increased up from 5 years ago. Live chat. Okay. Live chat. That's not live chat. That's group chat, but sure. Republican slogan. You're watching TV after school in the late 1900s. Hey, it could happen. Hey, it can happen. That's Republicans' strategy now. It is the Republican slogan, though. It is. Like, well, it could happen. Okay. I heard it in Steve's this morning. Oh, well, for all of the immigrants who vote that they catch, imagine the ones they don't catch. Why would I imagine that? You can't quantify that number. Cattle battle? Neely? Not the cattle battle? My God. Credit card debt has increased in America, up 60% from 5 years ago. We have seen more people are pulling out credit cards, and the interest rates are not good. Now, I ask this a lot. Donald Trump issued an executive order capping credit card interest rates. Do EOs mean anything? No, they don't.
Real quick, we would win cattle battle. We went to Costa Rica, and Central American cows are real scrawny.
It's because they're meant for milk.
And yeah, everything's bigger in Texas. So those cows are ready to fight.
The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. I don't think I have your sound saved.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
Do I? I don't think I have Fuck You Sparky saved. And I should. But I don't. I don't have it saved. Anyway. Donald Trump's executive order capping interest rates doesn't mean anything because you can't fucking legislate that way. That's not how that works. You cannot force them to keep their credit card rates down without legislation from Congress. So here we are. Americans are hurting once again.
For 35-year-old Helena Emanalo, it started innocently enough.
My mother had to move in with us. At the time, it was my husband and I. We had a little baby, and then we had another baby on the way. The amount of people in our house almost tripled in a very short time span, and expenses tripled as well.
To meet them, like so many other Americans these days, she turned to credit cards.
It's very easy to swipe, and, this is an emergency, and everything can be an emergency right now.
Before she knew it,
I accumulated about $20,000 in debt.
Compared to one estimate of average household debt nationwide, about $10,000. But it's the most indebted, like Emanalo, who've driven credit card delinquencies to their highest rate in 15 years. Bankruptcies up 12% in the last year alone.
Once you start adding all of that up.
Jeff, why do you do this? You said girl has a spending problem that has nothing to do with the economy. One, that's a microaggression. Watch yourself. Don't call black women girl. It's a microaggression. I'm giving this to you as a teaching moment. Don't do that. She literally said, never mind. You know what? Never mind.
See you on Discord, Jeff. Jeff. Guess what day it is?
I don't know why he does this to himself. I don't know why he does this to himself. They just said that it's not a spending problem. She is using credit cards to pay her bills, to pay for food. We are seeing an increase in, I already did Linetti. There is an increase in that in society. They are indebted to credit card corporations because, yes, that's me. They need to pay their bills. People can't afford fucking food. They can't afford their bills on what they make, so they're using credit cards to do it. Did you not hear that part? I'm not black. I didn't say I was black. I would never say I'm black. I, as a white woman, know that calling a black woman girl and calling a black man boy is a microaggression. It's really a fucking macroaggression. It's a way to put them down, to infantilize them, to make them feel inferior and other, as if they are below you as a white person. No. I might not be black, but I listen.
Well, you realize you don't have enough money for daycare, or you don't have enough money to pay your electric bill. And then all of a sudden, things just get unmanageable very, very quickly.
People talk about a debt spiral. That sound familiar?
It does. Yeah, it does. I kind of found myself in like an endless cycle of just like trying to pay something, even though it wasn't making a dent in the overall amount that I owed.
And it's not just millennials and older generation members like Emanalo now caught up in the debt interest whirlpool.
It's a huge problem, and it's a specifically huge problem for young people.
Personal finance guru Beth Kobliner first published Get a Financial Life for Young People, now in its 5th edition, 30 years ago. The early life debt dilemma since? Worse than ever.
We've seen the rate of credit card debt for young people go up about 190% since 2020.
And student debt now near $2 trillion.
Last I checked, it was approximately 17,000.
25-year-old Bridget Klinger.
A lot of what I earn immediately goes to trying to pay off all of this debt every month.
Gen Z has more debt than any other generation in history before it.
Let's talk about how much credit card debt I have, and spoiler alert, it is a lot.
Hey, is there any other 18-year-olds with like $6,000 in credit card debt?
And there's a new debt trap for the young, says Kobliner.
Buy now, pay later is one more example of what we're calling frictionless finance, which might sound great, but it's actually quite pernicious. In general, getting further and further away from knowing how much we're spending.
I would push back on this in way of it being a new concept. Buy now, pay later has been something that like my mom's generation had. That's not new, right? You had like layaway. Like you had those things around. I would say it's more easily accessible in Gen Z's pocket, right? You can do it on, Mercari and like all Shopify, and like you have all these ways now that you can do buy now, pay later. So it's a lot more easily accessible, but it's not new.
And sometimes we don't need
exactly, Jumar. It's been around forever.
And realize when we're spending. In the last decade, we literally have changed.
Jeff, I agree. There are too many. There's too many buy now, pay later options. How do you make that stop? Legislation through Congress.
The way we've made purchases.
And that's true, Ashby. Layaway didn't accrue interest. That's true.
We no longer take out our wallet, use cash, and count out the dollar bills. Nobody does that anymore.
Not Helena Emanalo.
I was doing a lot of buy now, pay later. And when it came time to pay, I was like, oof, I don't have it.
And when that happens,
they say they won't charge you interest. But the problem is, if you're late, you're going to be hit with a big fee.
Bottom line, as Kobliner has stressed for decades, if you borrow young, you dig yourself a hole.
With my student debt, my husband's student debt, our car loans, credit cards, it's probably like the amount of a mortgage, like an amount of a current mortgage, like $125,000, $150,000.
So folks like Marjorie San Pietro use credit cards. Their interest rates hitched to credit scores.
Our average credit card rate is about 30%, and that seems frustrating to me. It's kind of predatory.
30%, which implies...
Not kind of. It's absolutely predatory.
A pretty low credit score. And says Emanalo,
if you don't have a good credit score, like you can't buy a house, you can't buy a car.
Loan defaults, bankruptcies, and yet another grim economic statistic setting records these days, low consumer sentiment. Now, President Trump economic advisor Kevin Hassett dismisses its significance.
I actually think that we should stop calling it consumer sentiment and start calling it political sentiment, because the variable is really, it's really a political variable, not an economic variable.
And
it's not. We played that clip. That's him assuming that it's Democrats. And even in that, he was like, oh, and I count the independents as Democrats since their consumer sentiment is low too. Like, you're making it political. No, Americans are hurting.
Yes, says Joanne Shu, who runs the Consumer Sentiment Survey, the results have been a reflection of which party is in power. But recently,
Republicans actually have been showing declining sentiment.
Hi, Dolphin.
this year as well. And the current reading from May shows both Republicans and independents at their lowest level since the beginning of 2025. People across the political spectrum, they have been feeling less optimistic about the economy over the course of this year.
And come on, says economist Mark Zandi, the reason is obvious for so many Americans.
If you look at real disposable income, that's after inflation, after taxes, it's lower today than it was a year ago. And that's that's economy wide, right? So that means that, stands to reason about half the population is experiencing outright decline. And so if you've been spending in a certain way for a long time and your income starts to erode, how do you respond to that?
Which brings us back to the subject of this story, consumer debt.
Many people turn to leverage and credit, and the credit card being the best example of that, to help tide things over. But then you get nailed with higher interest rates. Now you're paying 20% interest on whatever you borrowed. And that's like,
He sounds like Yakko from Animaniacs. He kind of does.
very, very difficult to get out of.
And deeper you may sink. One final point. In an increasingly K-shaped economy, who's doing the lending?
The folks in the top part of the distribution, the well-to-do, they own lots of things. They have big deposits at banks. They own bonds and stocks. And those deposits and those savings go to providing the credit that folks in the bottom part of the income distribution, the middle part of the distribution, are using to finance their spending on autos and on a home and other things.
There's an old saw in economics. It's not how much you borrow, but what you do with the money. If you can afford to invest the money, great. But if you can't, and have to borrow to survive, you may find yourself, like so many of our fellow Americans, sucked under. For the PBS NewsHour, Paul Sol.
No, so, sir, no. He said stop borrowing money. If you don't have it, don't buy. That's the problem. People need it for food. They need it for survival right now. We're just going to tell them, don't eat, just die. That's your advice to people? Just die, I guess. I guess that's what you would want to see them do. Okay, sure. All right. I put this in economy because I didn't want to start a whole new fraud, waste, and abuse section, but I mean, it still fits in because while Americans are struggling with debt and struggling with being able to survive in this economy, Trump's doing whatever the fuck he wants with the lie that he fed you guys last year that you're still, for some reason, glazing him for. Trump administration set to spend at least $900 million on White House construction, the Washington Post reports. Does anybody remember how this started? Let's do a timeline. Are you guys still eating? That's so 2024. Let's do a backtrack, a history lesson on the White House construction, the military center it's now being called, shall we? Okay. It was going to be $200 to $250 million to do this ballroom construction. And Donald Trump was going to pay for it himself. And then it increased to $300 million and then to $350 million, but it was going to be paid for by private donors. Okay. Now it just keeps increasing, and this is including the White House ballroom, but it's also other projects. So while you're poor, your money goes into fixing this that he did that we had no reason to do. But he did. He did that. The Trump administration is set to spend at least $900 million for construction projects on the White House grounds, the Washington Post reported on Wednesday, citing records. The extra $650 million is for a functioning McDonald's self-serve machine. Listen, I'm a millennial. I always wanted to live like Richie Rich. He had a McDonald's. You have your own McDonald's? He had a McDonald's in his fucking house. Okay? I would love that. Richie Rich was... So maybe, I don't know. Instead of securing money directly from Congress, the administration has gathered funds from other agencies and private donors and directed them to an account that holds a few $1 million for routine maintenance at the White House, the report said. Gathered funds from other agencies and private donors and directed them to an account. Okay. there might be an issue with this because if you're reallocating money that Congress has approved, that's going to be a fucking problem. Confidential contracts and related planning documents indicate that the administration plans to use money in that account for White House modernization projects, the report added. Last week, a U.S. federal appeals court ordered the administration to stop construction on a $400 million ballroom on the site of the White House's demolished East Wing, dealing the Republican leader a major setback in a case testing his presidential authority. When asked for a comment on the Washington Post report, a White House spokesperson reiterated that renovations to the East Wing are inextricably tied to the security of the president, the White House grounds, and the security infrastructure assets. Again, they are saying you didn't get approval, so no. Why isn't he using the tariff shelf, I wonder? U.S. President Donald Trump and other individuals are funding the ballroom to the tune of approximately $400 million, the spokesperson told Reuters. We have seen absolutely no proof of that. If anything, we saw New York Times article detailing that money was coming from places like us. That's definitely not true. I don't know where they're getting that. But more corruption as you can't afford to feed your kids. Last little bit that I have on the economy, I'm going to show it's local, so you guys might not care. But, hi, I'm just Monida. I live in Colorado. I live in Colorado District 8. It's the newest drawn district. Gabe Evans is the Republican. He is our congressional representative here in Colorado District 8, and he only won by about 2,500 votes in 2024. We are definitely going to try and do our best to get him out this year, November 2026. Please vote for Manny Rutinel if you are in Colorado District 8. If you have the means to donate to Manny Rutinel, if you have the means to door knock, phone bank with Manny Rutinel, please do so. I'd appreciate it. But Gabe Evans last year did a press conference in front of the Capitol where 9 News' Marshall Zellinger tried to ask him questions about the fact that we have the most constituents in Colorado on SNAP and that your vote for the One Big Beautiful Bill Act actually kicked a lot of your constituents off of SNAP. He ran away from Marshall Zellinger. He refused to answer. Gabe Evans has not held a town hall since being elected. He held one town hall with pre-picked questions from constituents that were all softball questions. Okay? So he was here with Brooke Rollins, and he avoided Marshall Zellinger again. Again, just to point out, hold them accountable, follow them around, try to get them to answer questions or show the cowardice when they fucking don't.
After hosting a private roundtable with members of Colorado's agriculture community, Republican Congressman Gabe Evans took questions alongside USDA Secretary Brooke Rollins. The USDA oversees the SNAP food benefits program, and last year Evans voted for the bill that changed SNAP work requirement rules. 90,000 people in Evans's Congressional District 8 receive SNAP benefits.
How many do you think or do you expect to lose these food benefits, and why is that a positive for taxpayers?
Actually,
Bitch, why are you going to answer for my state? One, you shouldn't be answering for my state. You don't live here. You shouldn't be answering for my district. You're not in charge of it. He is. Is he that spineless? I know, I receive his newsletters. He is that spineless. He's just like all of you guys and just talking points. But I guess you're not going to let him answer? Okay.
I'm sorry. I know you want to talk to him first, but I live this every single day.
Before Evans could tell us if he knew the number, Rollins walked...
Bert, what do you say? Yes, he did. Yes, he did what? He did what?
Back to the microphone to explain the work requirement changes. But the question to Evans was how many in his district could lose benefits over those changes.
Let's look at the SNAP error rate. Under Hickenlooper as governor, it was about 5%. Under Polis, it's ballooned up to 10%.
Evans instead talked about the state's SNAP error rate, a stat tracked by the USDA. In 2022, Colorado's error rate was among the lowest at 7%. Last year, it was in the bottom half at 10%. The error rate includes overpayments and underpayments to recipients.
So he lied. He lied about the percentage of error rate. And error rate is not fraud. Error rate is the system itself, which obviously they need to work on. I would never be against making this more efficient, but that is when the workers or the system does an overpayment or underpayment. Guess what? I used to be on SNAP. They overpaid us. We had to pay that back in cash before we could even reapply again. Okay? Yes, he voted yes on the big ugly. He voted for the big ugly bill. I know.
The U.S.
Oh, he was answering a different question. Okay, sorry. I apologize. I was like, what?
USDA says this rate reflects program waste, but not fraud.
$12 million a month not getting to the people who need it the most because
Well, mine was taken away and I'm in your district.
of mismanagement here in the state of Colorado. We're working to cut out that fraud, waste, and abuse in order to get the money to the people who need it the most.
So how many people in your district do you think will lose these benefits, and apparently for fraud, waste, and abuse?
If you want an answer from that, you'll have to answer the question that I asked you last year at the state capitol first. Thanks, Marshall.
Evans is talking about when
He's such a slimy little shit. But let's see what he's talking about.
Evans is talking about when he dodged my question about his vote to kick people off Medicaid.
Bro, you're wearing a fucking blazer with jeans.
In his district.
How does taking people off Medicaid and into emergency rooms for uncompensated care help medical providers in your district?
Do you want illegal immigrants on Medicaid, Marshall?
2 questions at 2 events about who in his district is at risk of losing benefits, and no answer. But that's more opportunity than his own constituents get at asking him questions. He's held telephone town halls, but nothing in person.
What should your constituents take that you meet with allies in the Trump administration?
No, he won his primary. He's going to be going against Manny Rutinell in November.
Like Secretary Rollins and Secretary Mullen last week from DHS, but you've yet to have this general in public town hall for anyone to show up in your district.
Incorrect. We had a text go out to everybody for a town hall that we did with the Secretary of Energy just a couple of weeks ago, also in Adams County, by the way.
We haven't been able to find a public town hall, but we did find this meeting.
It's like, no, he fucking didn't. We have held people's town halls near his office. We've actually held them where we put a seat in the hall and wait for him. We discuss things going on in Colorado District 8, but we wait for him. We leave a seat open for him every single time, and he doesn't show up. He has held one teletown hall. One. Again, with pre-picked softball questions. No. This is what he found. It was not an open town hall.
At the end of June, the conservative America First Policy Institute, founded by now Secretary Rollins, it held an energy-based policy event where questions were moderated, not asked by the general public. If you knew where to look on social media, you could RSVP to find out the location and find your congressman. For Next, I'm Marshall Zellinger.
That's not a public open town hall if I have to RSVP to it. Why don't you just hold a public town hall, Gabe Evans? Why are you such a scared little bitch, Gabe Evans? You're going to be out in November. God damn it, we will insure it. So there's that. Just make sure you're paying attention to public. I know that was a little personal. But they all answer like that. They all answer like that. See, but here's the thing though, Jen, like it's also not. So we had Barbara Kirkmeyer was our representative before we got redrawn. Then we got redrawn and we had a Democrat. What the fuck is her name? Why can't I remember her name now? I hate her, that's why. Crap, I can't remember her name. So we had a Democrat and then now we have Gabe Evans. So we are a really flip district. It's a very, very contentious district, and it's very important for the House. So we're trying here. We are really trying. Okay. 11. Where do I want to go? Let's go to foreign policy. Let's go to Iran foreign policy. I can't remember. It's going to bother me that I can't remember her name. I've made videos on her. Now I can't remember her name. Donald Trump put out a truth. You know, it's going well. The conversations with Iran are going well. Oh my God. Oh, shit. I feel like I should not be live then though, babe. I don't. Okay. Is she okay? Babe, is she sorry, this is personal, but babe, just answer me as is she okay? She's fine. Okay. Okay. I'm freaking out, but I'm glad you're okay. Okay, sorry guys. So the IRGC has come out and said that they are not going to do any kind of negotiations or talks with Donald Trump anymore. They said we are not going to do negotiations with the United States until the end of Donald Trump's term. That's what's going to happen. And so he did a truth about the negotiations and how they're going, even though the IRGC has said fuck off. I see that representatives of the Islamic Republic of Iran are asking for compensation for the damage done to them during the last 5-month military conflict, started because they will not have a nuclear weapon. Even though it was never mentioned in any of our negotiations or meetings, but it is an interesting idea because now I am likewise demanding compensation from Iran for all of the people that they have killed and gravely wounded with their roadside bombs and many conflicts for which they are famous, as led initially by General Soleimani, including the families of those killed on the USS Cole and thousands of others killed in combat. Holy run-on sentence, Batman. Of course they're going to ask for compensation. Of course they are. We bombed them. Of course they're going to ask for compensation. Additionally, compensation should be paid to the families of the hundreds of thousands of innocent protesters that Iran has killed over the last 50 years, not to mention the 52,000 that have been killed in the last 5 months. I have instructed my representatives to put this firmly into any and all future negotiations. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. The IRGC says we are no longer negotiating with you. So there's that. He was asked if major escalation is still on the table, which fucks with the gas prices because he's back and forth on it. He doesn't know what to do. He's looking for an off-ramp and he doesn't know what to do. I honestly don't even know how to describe it anymore. He doesn't know what to do.
You said this last round of talks was Iran's last chance before decapitation. So what now? What comes next?
You'll find out.
Are you still, are massive escalation, is that still on the table?
Well, we have that, certainly that ability if we want to do that. Yeah, you'll find out.
You said you're low.
You'll find out. You'll find out. Do you even know? Do you have anything that you plan to do? Oh, the gold is so gross, by the way. It's so disgusting. Like, what do you plan to do? No, you don't want to tell them? Okay. And again, what about the Strait? Is the Strait open? Byron Donald says that Iran is weaponizing the Strait. But Donald Trump says we control it.
It's like, doesn't make...
Yeah, he's going to quit and say that he won. He's going to be like, we did it!
Makes sense, right?
And actually, Casey, I was talking about this with my friends last night, because I firmly believe it. There will most likely... okay. He's gonna quit. He's gonna walk away and say, I won and that's it, and leave Iran in these dire straits. A new president is going to come in, most likely a Democrat, and Congress is most likely, now this is all speculation, but most likely going to have to pass some form of aid package to Iran for what we did to them. Some sort of reconstruction package to Iran for what we did to them. And when Congress passes that and a new president signs it, Republicans are then going to use that to say, look, they're giving Iran and the IRGC money. Look at them. We told you the Democrats are terrible. And use it for their next election, even though they caused the mess that Democrats are going to have to clean up, because that's what always happens.
Your president back to the subject of Iran, sir. Can you give us any estimate of when you think the Strait of Hormuz will be part of any deal?
Well, it's open now. We're taking a lot of shit. It's open now. Look. The only one that has control of the Strait of Hormuz right now is the United States Navy. We have a blockade that's been infallible.
The Trump-Iranian reparations bill should be the title. Yeah, probably.
It's a steel wall. And we let people in that we want to let in, and those people come in, and they've been coming in and they're going out. So it's actually open now. We do not let them go into Iran. They're not admitted into the Strait to go to Iran. Okay. But it's open for others. Now, a little bit complex because they will, on occasion, drop a mine, and we find the mines. You know, we've mine swept the entire strait, as you probably maybe heard, maybe you didn't hear, but...
Oh, there's no more mines? We've swept the entire thing? Yeah, well, also word salad, but I caught that. We swept the entire strait for mines?
But we control the strait 100%. Now, can they make trouble? Yeah, they can make trouble. But they're broke. They have no...
That means you don't control it then. You don't control it 100% if they can keep making trouble. Because they made trouble yesterday by shooting at a ship from the UAE. A ship hit a mine yesterday or the day before. That's from Mr. Global. Yeah, see?
No money. You know, Iran is broke, totally broke. and they're not paying their soldiers. They have inflation of 300% as of last night. I heard 309%. So we'll see what happens. But they've been bad for, they say 47, it's actually 50 now. 47, they've been saying it for 3 years. But for 50 years, they've been the bully of the Middle East. What they've done is terrible. They've killed hundreds of thousands of people. They've killed people, they've wounded and maimed people with the legs, the arms, with the roadside bomb is their bomb. They're very proud of it. And now they're paying a price. Thank you.
They're not. You don't control the street. Like, he just says words. Why do you guys... Just want you guys to listen to him when he talks. Just want you to stop saying odd shit. But then we got this. Oil in U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve falls below 300 million barrels, the lowest since 1983. Crude oil stockpiles in the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve have fallen below 300 million barrels, the lowest level in more than 4 decades, as global inventories stay under pressure due to the Iran war. The SPR fell by 6.1 million barrels to 298.7 million barrels last week, according to data released by the Department of Energy on Monday. The reserve, created in 1975, is at its lowest level seen since January 1983. Yeah, also, Chris, there is that. I haven't even gotten to that. I won't get to that today, but yeah, I gotta research more on that. President Donald Trump ordered the release of 172 million barrels in March after Iran choked off oil exports through the Strait of Hormuz, triggering the largest disruption of crude oil supplies in history. The drawdown in the SPR, whose authorized storage capacity is 714 million barrels, has raised questions about whether U.S. government stockpiles are on the verge of depletion. The minimum amount of oil needed to safely operate the SPR is about 70 million barrels, an Energy Department spokesperson told CNBC in July. Now, we talked about this before because when Donald Trump went to... what was that for? My brain is foggy today, sorry. He went to Europe. I can't remember the name of the event, but he went to Europe and we played the videos from it, and he said, like, oh, we're working on a deal. We've got this MOU, and we're working on a deal with Iran because if this goes on, we've got about 4 weeks until Bedlam. Don't know if you know, Bedlam means chaos and anarchy. He is saying we have 4 weeks until Bedlam. I assumed he's talking about the reserves. We are running low on oil, and the world is running low on oil because of what he's done with Iran, and we are no closer to victory or any sort of deal than we were before this started. Guess what? Once again, I say, should not have tore up the JCPOA. Maybe you shouldn't have fucking done that. There is enough oil left in the SPR to do another release if needed, said David Goldwyn, who served as a State Department Special Envoy for International Energy Affairs under President Barack Obama. I'm not worried about the stability of the reserve or our ability to do another drawdown if we needed to. So crude oil stocks in Strategic Petroleum Reserve, stark drop after February because of Donald Trump. We've had to use oil. We've had to release oil out in a global market because of what Donald Trump has done. The SPR stood at around 415 million barrels before the U.S. and Israel attacked Iran on February 28th. U.S. government stocks will fall to around 243 million barrels when the release Trump ordered is completed. The SPR's operational capacity is at risk due to aging infrastructure. According to a May report from the Government Accountability Office, more than a quarter of its inventory was not available for drawdown due to a combination of construction outages and cavern outages. As of December 2025, GAO investigators found that implied that a minimum of 103 million barrels in the SPR today are not available for use, according to a July analysis by Rapidian Energy. The SPR's drawdown, distribution, and fill capabilities are currently limited and are at risk going forward due to long-standing issues with aging infrastructure compounded with ongoing major construction intended to address them, the GAO warned in the report. U.S. presidents have ordered massive releases from the SPR with growing frequency in recent years. President Joe Biden deployed 180 million barrels to address energy market volatility after Russia invaded Ukraine in early 2022. We put sanctions on Russian oil. We used the SPR to make up for that because our gas prices started spiking. That was the largest release in the history of the SPR. The GAO described the release in response to the Ukraine war as an unplanned stress test for the SPR. When you do a drawdown, then you accelerate kind of degradation of the wells themselves and some of the equipment. It's like anything else. You use it a lot, you have to maintain it. That's fair, but we're using it again. The hair says everything. Why? Because it's pink. Does that bother you? Bothers you that it's pink? I'm sorry. It's too bad for you. So there's been an issue around munitions, right? We've talked about it before, that there's an issue around munitions. We're getting reports that the munitions are low. Pete Hegseth himself said some things take time, some things are more immediate. Donald Trump is being given his talking points now. We saw that yesterday with elections on this channel, and apparently they're doing it also in regards to munitions for Iran war and why they're low. Before I play that, though, thank you guys. We're at 241,000 likes. I know we can get to that 300,000 with about the 45 minutes that we have left. Right, Raina? What's wrong with pink hair? The 45 minutes that we have left, I would appreciate it if we could keep tapping and do that. I have these little go live flags as my goal up here somewhere. We need 33. If we could do 33 of those and get those accomplished, that would be amazing. I would appreciate it. Again, if you're watching on YouTube and you have not hit that thumbs up button, I would appreciate it if you do so. Just helps boost me, and it helps boost for the rewatch as well. Even if you hate me, go ahead and do that. I know, it sucks. Your hair's purple. I know. It's not blue. And I have 45.72 left in my goal, guys. If we could start working on that, we could $1 train, $2 train, $5 train to get that accomplished. Let's start working on getting that down and pay women for their labor, okay? Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio. I would appreciate it so very much. All right, so munitions are low. Well, this guy's going to give Trump his talking point for why.
Now that everything's good.
What he did to us in so many ways. And by the way, they talk about munitions, and we're fine with munitions. You know, we're having to do with, we're fine. But the reason it would be lower, and we're building them like crazy, but the reason it's low is because he gave $300 billion worth to Ukraine.
So I tried to look this up yesterday. I cannot find $300 billion worth of weapons. Specifically, I don't think we have an actual amount of the weaponry that we gave. But I did try to look, and I couldn't find anything. So if somebody does find something on an accurate number in regards to what was sent to Ukraine, fine. But it's also interesting that he's going to say it as if it's a bad thing now and try to blame Biden.
He gave, They never mention that. They never like to mention that. Now, I give to Ukraine also, but they have to pay, meaning the European Union. I don't do Ukraine. I give it to the European Union. They have money. And they pay top dollar. They pay full dollar. I don't want to say top because, I'm not looking to pay.
So what he did is that he instituted that if we want to help Ukraine, we're going to have Europe purchase the weaponry from us and then give it to them. That's what he did. He created a middleman in order to make money. I don't know how well that's going because already Ukraine is saying they're not getting enough weapons.
That was
but I wanted to play this because I don't know if we remember, as Donald Trump tries to blame Joe Biden for the munitions that were sent to Ukraine, he also bragged about the munitions he sent to Ukraine.
Excuse me, that was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins.
The only reason that's the statement is because he said it himself.
You got to be more thankful. Because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
This was in 2025. Does anybody remember the famous J.D. Vance, you should be grateful and say thank you? So we're going to blame Biden for what Congress under Biden sent, but not what Congress under Trump sent. Okay. I just wanted to be clear. I just wanted to be clear on that. Well, Iran is still happening. Iran is still going on. PBS
as the war
was able to speak to a top advisor of the IRGC. It was a very, very interesting interview, and so we're going to play it. Enjoy it now, because I will most likely have to cut it out of my rewatch. YouTube's usually like, hey, you don't get to watch this. So there's that. Thank you. I want to make sure that this is not anybody's name that needed to not be said. Thank you so much, Andrew, for the 10. He said, I love your content. Keep up the great work. I try. I promise you that I know I'm super disorganized today. I'm a lot more organized usually. I apologize for that, but thank you.
Whatever. Bring Mia up here with her cam on because I want to see her reaction if it's the same as our reaction.
That's if Mia can. If Mia can, she can.
Where are you at, Mia?
It would...
She's been consulting me.
Okay.
No, just kidding.
I mean, I wouldn't... That's fine.
Where's the conduit, Henry?
All right, so
I don't know if she's here. All right, bye.
bye. Let's do interview. Ready? Go.
As the war with Iran continues its uneasy stalemate, we hear now from a top advisor to the overall commander of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary.
Grifting for money off of Trump. Hey, Mayday. I might as well. Trump grifts money off of me. I might as well.
Guard Corps, the force largely responsible for border and internal security. The U.S. and many...
Oh, there's Mia. Hello.
Hi, I know, I've been summoned.
I think he just wants your reaction to it. That's
Okay,
other
I got
nations
this.
have designated it a terrorist organization. The IRGC, as it's known, rarely give interviews and almost never to Western media. But Commander Mohammad Reza Nakhti sat down this morning in Tehran for an exclusive interview with special correspondent Reza Sayah.
Commander Nakhti, thank you very much for sitting down with us. It has been a long-running policy of Iran's Revolutionary Guard to never speak to American media. What changed? Why did you agree to sit with us?
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, we never received a request to reject it. We would like for our voice to reach the ears of people in Western countries. It's Western media that don't like our voice to be heard. There's nothing we do that's indefensible and outside the values of humanity that we would want to cover up or not discuss.
Let's talk about this war. Where do you see Iran in this juncture of the war? Do you see yourself as winning? Are you in control?
Certainly, victory is on our side. After the defeat of America's two main objectives, the toppling of the leadership and the breaking up of Iran, we saw confusion and bewilderment in America. It became a war without a strategy. Every 2 or 3 days, they announced a new objective. For several nights, they said they want to invade Karg Island. They said they want to open the Strait of Hormuz. They mobilized their battleships. Everything they tried, we can show how we were victorious.
In your view, is it inevitable that Iran has won?
No, we have not yet reached our final objective. This is clear. Up until now, we are victorious. In the future, we will continue to be victorious. The longer this war lasts, the more experience we gain. We had never seen a real war to gain real experience, to learn how to fight with America. In these 5 months, we have learned how. We have also seen how the American military is weaker than what we perceived.
Is it Iran's objective to drag out
Oh, yeah, we trained them. Love that for us.
this war, to maybe wait until Mr. Trump is out of office?
Look, we have to attain deterrence so that the enemy never dares to attack us, so we can live with security. One way is to prolong this war until we get to the next term of the presidency and cause attrition, so that if anyone else wants to attack Iran, they will know there is a cost.
This week, on at least 2 occasions, maybe more, Iranian forces attacked non-military ships that were trying to cross through the Strait of Hormuz. What is Iran's objective in attacking civilian ships?
When we are at war, vessels need to pass through a region we can control. When they leave an area that we control, it could be that they're transporting supplies for the enemy.
Do you not see that as a violation of international law, attacking civilian ships?
When you're in a state of war, any thoroughfare deemed to be a threat, we can control it. This is international law. Anywhere in the world where there is war, this law exists.
He's like the Pete Hegseth of the IRGC. A little bit. Just, but it's
One of your most effective weapons in this war has been your missiles and your drones. Reports said before the war you had about 3,000 to 4,000 missiles. How many missiles do you have in your stockpile right now?
First of all, we are not reliant on missiles and drones. If we are victorious, we relied on our faith to be victorious. God is with us. As for our missiles, the Americans and the Zionists always want to count our missiles. First of all, the number of missiles we manufacture every day is more than the number we launch.
Yeah, he's not going to tell you that
In
number.
a country this vast, we can make them wherever we want.
Where are you making them? Is it deep underground?
We do it in different ways. We have various ways to manufacture them securely. Rest assured, even if this war lasts for years, until the last day, Iran's rockets will be launched. I will make this point, and this is more important than missiles. If there comes a day when Iran has no more missiles left, that's when we will be even more dangerous for America.
How would you be more dangerous?
Because America has thousands of economic interests throughout the world, and all of them can be easily destroyed.
Military officers often put themselves in the place of their rivals and the enemy to maybe predict what they're going to do. Put yourself in Pete Hegseth's place. What is he thinking? What is your prediction as to what he might do?
I will never put myself in his place. He is a criminal who killed 168 innocent children. Not only do these people not work for the benefit of humanity,
I mean, he's not wrong. Doesn't mean I agree with everything he does, but he's not wrong.
So I listened to The Noisy Immigrant and everything that, and he's in New Zealand. He's an immigrant in New Zealand. And everything that was just said right here is everything that the rest of the world has said when it comes to the United States imperialism.
Yeah.
My other favorite thing that The Noisy Immigrant says are the leftists in the U.S. are fucking insane if they think it's a class war. Like, they think, he's like, they're insane.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving back to this, what the U.S. does when it comes to imperialism, and then to continuously destabilize a country, then to offer, or then to like try to put it back together as if they are saviors, and then making it worse, and then continuing the cycle. Did you fix the phones or no?
No, I gotta do that tonight
You're
or
fine.
tomorrow night. Thanks for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
My age is 18, and yeah,
What state are you in?
Minnesota.
Okay, why'd you call in?
Just because that's why I still support Trump.
Well, you didn't vote for him because you're 18, but I guess why do you support him in general?
You know, most of it is just how he doesn't like murdering babies, and Kamala does.
Oh, that's interesting. He doesn't have a firm stance on abortion, but that's fine.
He's anti-abortion.
Oh, where'd you get that from?
That he's trying to defund Planned Parenthood and whatnot.
Oh my god, how many times do I have to fucking talk to you? How many times do I have to crush your soul in the fact that Planned Parenthood funding has been reinstated? I have talked to you about this. Have you come up with your reasoning for parental obligation because of rape? Have you figured that out yet?
I have not talked to you, girl.
Oh, really? So then you have the same talking point. What Discord or Reddit thread are you in then that has the exact same talking point as somebody else did? Multiple times.
Defunding Planned Parenthood is a vague talking point, honey.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, don't call me honey, baby. I could have fucking gave birth to you. Now listen, I understand that he wanted to defund Planned Parenthood. Did Donald Trump ever physically say that out of his mouth, or was that Republicans in Congress who said that?
He proposed the law, did he not?
No, that's not how that works.
Well, he supported the law. Let's put that that way.
Did he? Did he come out and support defunding Planned Parenthood? Could you find me an article where he said he supports the defunding of Planned Parenthood? I would like to see it.
Yeah, the big beautiful bill, right?
Did he point out the defunding of Planned Parenthood specifically?
Well, he wrote it up in there.
He didn't write it. You think he wrote anything in that bill?
Yeah.
No. He didn't write anything in there.
Well, whatever. He signed the bill, therefore he supports what's in the bill.
Cool.
Therefore,
And
he supports the funding of
cool.
Planned
And
Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood has now received their funding. So that was
I know,
ruled- cool.
and I'm mad about that.
Cool. Do you have any exceptions for abortion?
Unless it's medically necessary for the mother, in which case it would be killing and not murder.
Why? What's murder?
The unjustified killing of a human life.
Unjustified taking of a life. It's a legal term.
Yeah, and from the conclusions I made about abortion,
Why don't
it fits
you
that
give
term.
why don't you give a rape exception?
Because a baby should not get more or less rights based on the way it was conceived, and
No,
also
they get the same rights.
it's-
They get the same rights. You're trying to give it more rights. That's the difference.
abortion is just going to add more trauma to being raped. It's going to take away the one good thing that could
What's
come of
based
being
on
raped.
what? Where'd you get that from that you're making that statement?
The Charlotte Lozier Institute and the Elliott Institute.
This is the same person. Charlotte Lozier Institute. What's the name of the study? Oh, by the way, no, I know this is you. You know how I know this is you? Because the Lozier Institute, which you've cited to me before, is a fucking right-wing think tank. Become a defender of life. Latest research. Become a defender of life. The voyage of life. I have talked to you before. Because then you gave me
I
an
could say the same
argument.
thing about the
Because then you
Guttmacher.
gave me an argument about parental obligation, and I asked you where the parental obligation is with rape, and you didn't have an answer for me. So again, I ask you, where is the parental obligation from a rape victim?
It's a human life.
That's not parental obligation. That's just, it's a human life. But you grant exceptions for medical, so that's also a human life.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of stuck on that. But I did.
Stop fucking calling me until you figure it out. Once you figure it out, call me. Other than that, I've already made a video about you, honey. You can rewatch it all you want to and see your negative points. I don't know what to tell you about that.
You gotta like slow down on the THC consumption if you don't remember what lives you're calling into.
I made a whole video about you, babe. You can go watch.
Yeah, I went and checked. It's the same voice.
No, I know it's him because he starts with Planned Parenthood every single time. I've seen him in other lives. He does
Yeah, I
the same
haven't
thing
talked
every
to
time.
you.
I talked to you, lady. Yeah, you did. You sure did. You sure did.
Oh, so we're good on the video.
No, we're gonna go back. I just.
Oh, okay. No, I just wasn't sure because okay.
Why do you support Trump? I just wanna.
Because he's anti-abortion.
Is he?
Oh yeah.
Where's he said that?
It's through his actions. He introduced
What actions?
bills to Congress that
The president introduced bills to Congress for anti-abortion.
yeah, the defunding Planned Parenthood.
Oh, but yeah, no, totally not the same kid at all. Okay, back to IRGC.
Receipts, timeline.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots.
They don't even work for America. They work for their own interests. As soon as the stock market closes, they start hostilities. When the stock market opens, they send positive messages to raise stock prices. All the while, they are buying and selling the stocks themselves. If I was in the place of the American Congress, I would call for an investigative committee to compare the assets of Mr. Trump, his family, and his inner circle before the war to their assets after the war.
Many observers say Iran has put up a strong fight, but that America has one weapon that Iran doesn't, and that's a nuclear bomb. In your view, how likely is it for America to use a nuclear bomb?
Naturally, it can end up being a mistake for them. The morning after they use a bomb, all of America's military bases around the world would be occupied. Today, things are different than World War II. The people of the world have awakened. No one in the world will allow for such a crime to be committed, because the next time it could be themselves.
Washington has long claimed that Iran is a threat to Israel Israel says Iran wants to build a bomb to destroy Israel. Does Iran want to destroy Israel?
Iran has only one thing to say about occupied Palestine, and this is something our martyred leader has also said. The leadership there must be chosen based on a majority vote by the people who are connected to that land. This will certainly not be done with a nuclear bomb, but we certainly prefer if the Zionist regime did not exist. Just like the previous South African regime, an apartheid and white supremacist regime that was discarded by the people, the same thing must happen in Palestine.
Iranians are often seen shouting the slogan, "Death to America." And many American politicians point to that slogan and say Iran wants to destroy America.
Look, we have no enmity with the people of America.
So what does that slogan mean?
The meaning of death to America means death to America's leadership, a leadership that has invaded or violated more than 70 countries since becoming a superpower.
Increasingly, many observers inside Iran and outside say that if Iran had a nuclear weapon, America would not attack it, that it would be a deterrent. Is the Revolutionary Guard, is Iran even discussing the possibility of pursuing a nuclear bomb?
I will say this clearly. Our nuclear bomb is the hearts of the people of the world that we won fighting oppression. Islamic values and the divine values of the Islamic Revolution are taking over the world. There is no need for nuclear bombs. There is no need for slaughter.
After the death of the late Supreme Leader, his son Mujtaba Khamenei was appointed Supreme Leader. But during this war, he has never been seen in public. Can you tell us why?
The strategy belongs to him. Our enemy is criminal and doesn't abide by any law.
So is it because of security reasons?
Naturally, it is due to security. Certainly, there is no other reason.
Have you seen him?
Let's leave this matter alone.
Commander Naqvi, thank you very much.
You're welcome. I too thank you.
We asked the White House about the specific comments Naqvi made in that interview. They responded with a statement that reads in part, "It would be wise for Iran to agree to a deal," adding, "Otherwise, they know what will happen."
Just send the same threats. It's fine. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And this is exactly why he funded PBS.
We managed to make actual dictatorships look less authoritarian than us. Yep.
But it, like, they responded with like, "Your mom."
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it.
We'll use our last bomb on you.
Like, what?
We will cripple our own economy.
I hate it here. Oh, I hate it here so much. Okay, 11:30. Guys, my goal hasn't moved in a little bit. 3572, and I had to talk to a 18-year-old incel again. What are we doing? Let's pay for women's labor as we do. Don't do the thing you said you won't do. Don't do it. The last, 30-ish minutes, we're going to do this small immigration section that I have. We'll get through some updates on immigration. Obviously, I don't have everything, but I do have some stuff. So, more court cases. You guys know I love coming out. Oh, yeah, both of you gone. I love coming out with the court cases. Where are we at on taps? Keep tapping. We're behind. We need to hit 300,000. I know we can. Come on. Do the thing. Do the thing. Judge Wise finds that ICE coerced a 20-year-old Tongan man admitted legally to the country 3 years ago to sign a document accepting deportation despite no criminal record or immigration proceedings against him. briefly, petitioner Cornelius Kaihaoholani is a 20-year-old citizen of New Zealand of Tongan ethnicity. On July 13th of 2023, when he was 17 years old, he was lawfully admitted to the United States on the Visa Waiver Program. His mother is a green card holder who obtained her green card through marriage to Mr. Holani's stepfather, who is a U.S. citizen. Petitioner serves as the caregiver for his elderly grandmother in Seattle and is deeply involved in his church community. Aww. Why are you calling me again?
I have the answer.
Oh, what is it?
So, the child is the mother's child. Therefore, she has a moral obligation to do it.
Moral
And-
obligation is not what I asked you. I asked you about parental obligation, because what you gave me is that when somebody chooses to lay down, they then have a parental obligation for said child. I asked you what the parental obligation is for rape.
What would it be?
I don't think there is one, so I don't know why the fuck you're asking me.
So was that not a good answer that I gave you?
No, because I don't care about your morals. They would be subjective to other people's morals. I don't think you should legislate women's health care based off of your moral subjectivity. So no.
Okay.
Okay. Mhm. He just asked me to give him his argument for parental obligation, which I don't believe in. And that's not a good answer then? Pay me for my labor. All right. Deeply involved in his church community. He is close to his mother and his stepfather, both of whom lived in Oakland. Where he volunteers teaching traditional Tongan dance to the children of his church. Mr. Holani has no criminal record and no history of immigration enforcement contact of any kind. On the morning of July 31st, 2026, ICE officers seized Mr. Holani at Oakland International Airport as he waited to board a domestic flight home to Seattle. Petitioner was approached by 4 plainclothes ICE agents who told Mr. Holani not to make a scene. After Mr. Holani confirmed his identity, the officers handcuffed him, transported him in a vehicle, and then moved him to a second vehicle, at which time they handcuffed his legs and put a chain around his waist. The officers then transferred Mr. Holani to 630 Sansom Street in San Francisco. There in the ICE office, having been unlawfully detained without due process, the government coerced Mr. Holani to sign a document. When Mr. Holani asked whether the document had anything to do with deportation, the officer said, "No, it's nothing like that." Mr. Holani, who never graduated high school, complied with the officer's directive and signing an unknown document that the government now relies upon as a basis for asserting that Mr. Holani waived his right to contest his removal from the country or to adjust his status. Totally just in the face of the Constitution now. We're just completely going against due process in the Constitution. That's great. Love that for us. We also had this reporting. Small Texas law firm is set to receive $150 million contract to represent unaccompanied migrant children. The Trump administration is set to award a multi-million-dollar contract to a small Texas law firm to provide legal representation for thousands of unaccompanied migrant children in government custody during immigration proceedings. In a notice published in the Federal Register, the Department of Health and Human Services announced it intends to award the $150 million contract to Burke Law Group, a law firm headquartered in Houston, Texas. The notice states that contract would provide legal orientation, legal consultation, and attorney of record representation services for eligible unaccompanied alien children during immigration proceedings and hearings before U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services while the children remain in government custody. The proposed award comes from legal service providers across the country have said that the administration has withheld $65 million in overdue fees from the previous contract, alleging it is an attempt to force them to turn over confidential information about the migrant children they represent. Burke Law Group has 26 employees across 8 offices, according to its website. While the law firm's attorneys did not initially list immigration law as a practice area, they have since updated their website to include immigration. Their practices also include administrative law, white-collar defense, commercial litigation, and securities litigation, according to the site. One of the founders, Marcella Burke, was a former Trump appointee to the Environmental Protection Agency and the Department of the Interior. Jeffrey Hall, a former employee and founding partner, was appointed and confirmed to serve in the EPA late last year. Oh, so more friendly incestuous contracts being given out. Burke Law did not immediately respond to ABC News' request for comment. In December 2023, the Acacia Center for Justice, an immigrant advocacy group, became the prime contract holder with HHS for the Unaccompanied Children program, overseeing subcontracts with more than 100 service providers that provide legal representation to more than 20,000 unaccompanied migrant children. A spokesperson with HHS previously told ABC News that its sub-agency, the Office of Refugee Resettlement, ORR, offered Acacia the opportunity to receive a new federal contract based on requirements that include they provide the data on who they represent and that they bill HHS when they submit applications for immigration relief. The HHS spokesperson said Acacia refused. Of course they did, because you're trying to get information on children. Legal services providers, including Acacia, have said that ORR has demanding client-level data that is confidential and legally privileged. Yet their names, their information. During the Trump administration, Acacia and many of its subcontracted groups have alleged that unaccompanied children and their sponsors are among those being targeted under the administration's immigration crackdown. In June, DHS agents visited the offices of several Washington area nonprofit organizations that provide legal services to unaccompanied migrant children. Last year, ABC News reported that the administration was directing immigration agents to track down unaccompanied migrant children in the United States. Loved that. Just the Gestapo Nazi state. It's great, but it's fine. As much as I don't agree with it, you do get a little bit of karma. They don't feel it until they feel it themselves.
I voted for Trump. I am saying that they are picking up law-abiding citizens. They're destroying families, jobs.
John Gannon is a 75-year-old businessman and lifelong Republican who supported President Trump in 2024.
I wouldn't do that again. Not after this fiasco.
His fiancée, 45-year-old Venezuelan immigrant Yasmin Suarez Reyes, was detained by ICE at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston in late July.
8 ICE agents swarmed Jasmine and detained her, didn't tell us why, and rustled her off into a car.
When you saw that unfold, what went through your mind?
Well, I was just in total disbelief.
According to her immigration lawyer, Suarez Reyes came to the U.S. legally in 2023 and later applied for asylum, a case that is still ongoing. But her underlying permission to be in the U.S. has lapsed. Some people may say this is what mass deportations look like.
They're not going after the hard guys. That's too difficult. It's easier to pick them up at the airport, you know?
I never thought the leopards would eat my face. You dumb bitch.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Suarez Reyes was arrested as part of a recent crackdown by ICE at airports across the country.
ICE is here, help us!
Back in Texas, Gannon says he deeply misses his fiancée, who remains in ICE custody, facing deportation.
Jasmine's good as gold. Love Jasmine. That's it.
We contacted the Department of Homeland Security about this case, but have yet to hear back. Immigrants like Suarez Reyes would typically not have been targeted for deportation and arrest under prior administrations. But the Trump administration has taken the position that anyone whose immigration status has lapsed is fair game for enforcement.
Maybe he'll vote better next time. That's the only silver lining I have for him. Maybe. Where's his? There he is. Get his little crying face. There you go. Maybe he'll vote better next time. If only people would have warned you. If only people would have told you that he was going to do this. And you were like, no, not me. Not my wife. Certainly not. Couldn't be. I never thought the leopards would eat my face. Maybe you'll vote better next time. Probably won't. You'll probably still vote for Greg Abbott. On top of that, we also have reporting about military spouses being detained at a high rate.
So our reporting identified more than 50 cases where active duty U.S. military service members had parents or spouses detained, and in at least 6 cases deported. And experts say this marked a long-standing departure or a departure from longstanding bipartisan consensus that deporting immediate family members is detrimental to military preparedness.
Talk about that a little bit more. How would that undermine the preparedness of the military? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so we spoke to numerous soldiers who told us that, you know, when they have their wife or their husband or parent detained, you know, they've had to take leave of their duties, which could include training other troops or, you know, people who are scheduled for deployment are now having to take leave so that they can be there to care for their child or, you know, support their spouse's legal case. So, you know, troops are not able to concentrate on their mission.
And who did you talk to? Were you able to speak to any service members about how they feel about, you know, their spouses and family members being deported?
Yes, so we spoke to numerous U.S. military service members, and all of them expressed, you know, feeling that, you know, they had been, you know, providing service to their country. They had, you know, been trying to carry out their duties, and, you know, some of them felt that they had been betrayed. You know, military recruiters continue to promise that enlistment can, you know, be a way to protect your family members. And what they found is that, you know, that's not happening in their case. Their spouse or their parent is being detained.
You're telling me that military recruitment is predatory? Never could have guessed that. W's to Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous, for the $2.91. And also thank you, Daniel, for the 53 cents. You said a little math is good for everyone. It's not good for me, but I did it while the video was playing, so it doesn't count. You didn't have to see me struggle. Thank you. I appreciate it. W's to you guys. I appreciate it so much. You know, what? What? Military recruitment is predatory? No! Do they primarily go after lower income neighborhoods? No! They wouldn't do that. And last thing I have on immigration, this is the newest thing that I've seen. We getting cameras to ensure that we stop shooting people that we pull over? No. Are we getting cameras so we can thoroughly investigate when we shoot U.S. citizens in the street? No. You're getting slacks. AP exclusive. ICE plans to give officers gloves that can deliver painful electric shocks. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers may soon be outfitted with gloves that can deliver painful electric shocks intended to gain compliance from combative individuals. ICE plans to spend up to $20 million to purchase thousands of conductive distraction and de-escalation devices for officers and agents by March, according to a notice published Monday by the Department of Homeland Security. I'm assuming that this is the notice. Cool. Definitive contract. Glove. Generated low output voltage emitter. Jesus Christ, they think they're funny. Glove. Generated low output voltage emitter. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has a requirement to purchase the CTG5 glove, a conductive distraction and de-escalation device, which will be issued to Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, and Enforcement Removal Operations, ERO officers and agents. I have something that also delivers a painful electric shock. You have to sign a form for that one, Chicky. The devices are known as the Glove, which stands for Generated Low Output Voltage Emitter, and are manufactured by Compliant Technologies, LLC of Lexington, Kentucky. They have been used in recent years by some jails and police departments. DHS said Tuesday that it was working on a response to an Associated Press inquiry and offered no immediate comment. Jeff Nicholas, the founder and CEO of Compliant Technologies, wrote in an email, quote, "Unfortunately, we are unable to speak on this subject." They gagged you. That's what happened. The notice said the solicitation for a no-bid contract could be published as early as Friday. Them and their goddamn scam no bids. Civil rights advocates expressed alarm at the plan, saying ICE officers already face criticism for their use of force with little oversight or accountability while enforcing President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. Compliant Technologies says the devices function as normal pair of patrol gloves until officers press a switch to activate their electrical mode. The gloves must be applied directly to someone's skin to deliver a pain stimulus that typically helps an officer gain compliance within seconds, according to the company. So no, we're not going to have accountability and transparency to ensure that these agents are not shooting people in the street. Ice casting thunder is crazy. We're going to give them electric gloves. That's what we're going to do. No, Cap, nobody wants ICE around. Nobody really wants you around either, but yet here you are. You seem to be here. Okay. We'll have like 8 minutes. I did that. All right, I'll play this and then we'll get out of here. This was, again, PBS NewsHour. We read the reporting out about Truth Social launching a subscription service, allowing businesses and trading firms to get first looks at Trump's post before the market opens. There's already something similar to this. I'm sure they will describe it. They're going to do it in a better way than I do. But we started doing it now for the Truth Social posts of the president, which again is just proving the point of corruption in that Donald Trump knows that his truths effectuate the market, and he is making profit off of selling it. Time to wear full latex suit to protest. Yeah, at least we know now. At least we know. So there's that. Thank you so much, Eric, for the 15. I appreciate it. He said donation. And then thank you, D-Man, for the 33, knocking out the rest. So between you and Eric, you guys knocked it out and then some. Thank you guys so much. I'm sorry I didn't check my messages sooner, or else I would have seen that. But thank you guys. W's to Eric and D-Man. I appreciate that. Knocking out the goal today. So yeah, just more corruption, plain in your face. Donald Trump's company, which I just saw that. I don't have that, but I just saw that. Donald Trump's media company that owns Truth Social, bleeding money. Just absolutely bleeding money. So this was a way for them to try to get money because they don't have any.
Break down how this actually works. This service is already live. How much sooner are subscribers seeing these posts from President Trump?
So it's called Truth API, and basically investment banks, hedge funds, and other investors can get a sneak peek at President Trump's posts on Truth Social, maybe a couple milliseconds before the rest of the public. But when we're talking about high-frequency trading and other types of really fast Wall Street trading, I mean, Jeff, the difference of a few milliseconds could be tens of millions of dollars easily. And remember, I mean, Trump regularly turns to Truth Social to make announcements about the war in Iran, economic news, maybe announce some kind of big...
Hi, Platinum. Are you okay over there in Twitch? You all right? I just keep seeing you losing your fucking shit in the Twitch chat. Are you all right? Do we need to call someone for you?
Government contract with a private company.
We are, in fact, arguing. Okay. I'm sure that Surgeon is taking it as seriously as you are taking it right now.
So this is information Wall Street traders would really like to get before anyone else. So potentially this is going to be a real...
Cap, you must have missed that. If you would like to go back and watch that section, I would urge you to do so, because I actually yelled at the left. I said it wasn't a voter error, stupid. The the USBs were downloaded with audit data instead of the actual voter data. They just re-downloaded the voter data from the machines, and we got the vote count that we got. David Crowley won. I actually yelled at the left and the right for trying to say that there was an issue. So maybe go back and rewatch that, because you don't seem to be up to speed. Thank you so much, Them Runny Eggs, for the bits. Thank you for the 400 bits. Cheers, Monty. Love your Lions Ate My Face song. Clap. Thank you. It's not my song. I can't take the credit, but I did sing it.
Really lucrative new line of revenue for the Trump family.
President Trump is the largest shareholder in Truth Social's parent company, which his son, Don Jr., controls through a trust. So when the president's own posts can move markets, as we know they so often do, how is the company defending against allegations of insider trading?
What the Trump company says is that they are just sharing what they call public information with Wall Street. And they say, look, the president's posts and the posts of other high-profile users on Truth Social has a lot of value to Wall Street traders, and maybe some are even willing to pay the $1.2 million a year to get a jump start, get a head start, get early access to some of these posts. So when I talked to the spokeswoman for the Trump media company, and she says all these accusations of insider trading, all these accusations that we're offering material non-public information to traders are completely false because it's public information. But again, Jeff, I talked to many people who study Wall Street and former SEC enforcers who said, no, this is not public information because the very service is offering it to people before the rest of the world. I mean, that is the value add. You can get Trump's posts before anyone else. So experts told me that is the definition of material non-public information. And one executive at a very large Wall Street firm told me if this was any other administration, this would be considered criminal. And I put that to the Trump media spokesperson, and she said that is absurd.
Based on your reporting, do you know which firms have signed up for this service?
It's a great question, and we don't know just yet.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I don't understand that, Sparky. I do not know how they don't consider this insider trading. Like, you guys you tried to put Hillary Clinton away. You guys put, I don't know why, they kind of look similar now that I think about it. You guys put Martha Stewart away on this idea that she was getting insider information from a friend, but being able to purchase it beforehand, before the market opens, is not inside. Is that not the same thing? Is that not the same fucking thing?
As far as I can tell, I mean, Citadel, Goldman Sachs.
No, remember when Donnie said he never actually cared about prosecuting it? Well, he said they wanted to impeach her and that he was like, no, cool down. It's fine. As if he didn't run on that.
JP Morgan, all of the big Wall Street players are staying mum on this. And I asked one of my sources who is an executive on Wall Street why this might be. And they said, look, no one is going to stick their neck out and potentially land in the crosshairs of President Trump right now. But adopting this, if you're a big Wall Street bank, just really exposes you to potential, law enforcement investigation or an SEC probe in the next administration if the next administration sees this a little differently. So while this does fit into the larger narrative for Trump, the Trump media company of, trying to monetize access to power, access to...
Oh, you're right. It was the rally in 2016. He said, now that we won, we don't care anymore. Yeah, that's true. Cap, can you just be honest about the information, though? Can you be honest about the information? The reporting that it looks like we're getting is that a man killed his partner and his child and took his own life at a daycare. That's what we have. I don't know what that has to do with politics.
The president, and they're hailing this.
Oh, besides the fact you guys don't fund mental health.
This as a huge win for Wall Street traders in terms of having a leg up, having an edge on everyone else. Big Wall Street banks, as far as I can tell, are not widely adopting it just yet, but it's a good question. Who has signed up? The company says they have customers, but they won't say who.
When it comes to matters of precedent, clearly we've never had a sitting president with his own social media company that he actively uses. Have we ever seen a social media company sell early access like this before?
Offering sort of API access is what is called sort of back-end data is something that all the major social media platforms offer. Many of the big social media companies, charge a sort of monthly or annual fee for this. But the real difference here, Jeff, is this isn't just data from a social media company. These are posts from the sitting president of the United States. There are some people, scholars.
Right, exactly. It's not API. This is different.
Who say that every time Trump makes a Truth Social post, that is an official government.
To be fair, Cap's response to me saying that to him, shit, I can't even remember it now because I don't care that much. Cap's response was, Mental Health Month was 2 months ago. That was his response to the fact that a man killed his partner, his child, and then himself. That was his response.
Record. And because of that, it is being viewed by critics of the president as a type of insider trading, that he is basically monetizing the proprietary information of the U.S. government. If he was just a private citizen and he was offering early access to his and other posts, I think we wouldn't be having the same discussion. But because he's a sitting president, this is just being examined under a very critical legal lens right now.
No, I agree with that. I don't agree with the method. I still think it's weird, even though they already do something similar to this in the stock market itself. I don't agree that they should be able to do this, but it would make more sense if he was a private citizen doing it than it would if he was the president. The fact that he is the president and he's able to effectuate and make money off of it in this way means that he can direct what he chooses to do policy-wise, and what he chooses to put out in a truth to direct the markets. That is market manipulation. It's just direct corruption. In your face, as always. You know, but it's there. Okay. On that note, I'm out of here. I cannot stay over too much longer anyway because my daughter has an appointment, so have to eat something and get ready to drive, unfortunately for me. Yeah, that is me, Blue. I just want, yeah, that, I need to stop reading the group chat when I'm live. But I feel left out when you guys talk to me, so I be looking like this with what y'all post. Hey, Grinny Vinny, get in the box. Get in the box. You're so eager to talk about Olive and all these other spaces, but you're not brave enough to come up and talk to me about it? Why are you so passionate? If you're so passionate about it, as you put in Brett's yesterday, you're so passionate about this, why won't you come up and talk to me about it? What do you want to talk about? I have said over and over, I've said a few times, Olive is no longer, am I mad? I'm annoyed. I just like people to have some balls. Have some balls. Olive is no longer a part of our community. Our community has been very respectful of why she's not a part of our community anymore. We've been very respectful to not be like other platforms that hold call-out lives and drag it on. We decided to give her the grace of moving on. But you can't seem to be brave enough to come up and decipher who you are and why you're so passionate about it. Fair enough, thanks. Cool, so stop bringing her up. Thanks, that would be awesome. It was a painful period of time for a lot of us, and we don't fucking want to talk about it anymore. And that's honestly doing her a fucking favor. On that note, where's Mia? Is Mia live? Mia! Go live. So that I can rate you. And I outright said don't ask questions. Yeah, I said go, you can go ask her. You're up on YouTube and Twitch. Cool, I'll get those set up then. All right, YouTube and Twitch, you're going to go over to Mia. I want you to support in the same way that you support me, please. That would be great. I would appreciate it. Mia. This one? No, wait. Ah! This is upcoming. I guess I'll save it for that one. And then do the raid here. I appreciate you guys. I will be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Whatever time that is for you. And we will get back to doing the things that we do every single day, criticizing the administration. Okay? That is our plan. So, YouTube, Twitch, I will see you tomorrow. I appreciate you guys so very, 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 very much. Go support Mia in the same way, please, over there. I would appreciate it. Okay, let's do this raid.